to the earlier scheme. No, these are different, not connected. This was for the brand new, for the first time, something was done for the artisans. So earlier, target was artisans who were left behind earlier, irrespective of urban rural. Alright, so to my online students, how are you guys doing? All okay? I didn't find some of you yesterday attending the session. What happened? All okay? Fine? Finding economics difficult? Manageable? Awesome. So it won't be very difficult, don't worry. The subject is easy to correlate with real life. You asked a question yesterday. Did you understand it? Awesome. Super. So we are not getting recorded. Recorded view is not available. Oh, it is available on common platform. So your friend has just informed that it is available on common platform. So do check under video section. Okay, under video section. Since I don't have access to videos, so what I do is I'll check today in the office where is it available, and then if you find any problem, you let me know. I'll speak to our team and see if it can be made more smooth. It is available in the feed section. Okay, thank you so much. All right, guys. So what is the plan for the day? By the way, for tomorrow I have got a permission. So 7:30 we are meeting as usual for the test. Only test. Test on MCQs and test on answer writing. I've given enough of content. Then I will give you a discussion and I'll give you a discussion and tell you how to handle the questions. The good part about these topics is it is only meant for mains, but you never know UPSC. So we won't have like 100, 200 MCQs because it's a mains topic, but certainly we will have some quality MCQs just in case UPSC is asking the question. And whenever I take a test, let's say at the end of the week, etc., the syllabus of the test would be whatever we have done in that week, which is obvious. So week by week and sometimes in between also, like 2 days I'll teach you and then take a test depending on the depth of the topic. If the topic is very deep, then in 2 days also I'll take a test. So that's why the test schedule is not fixed. Maybe sometimes the test is taken inside the class itself, like one lecture I give you and suppose the topic is small and complete test. So this way we are going to have, because every topic is different. So this time it was mains oriented with which we started. So first we completed a substantial portion and then we'll have a test. So plan for the next week is, next week we are going to do those contemporary things which I told you, extra things, which according to me would be important next year. It was not important this year or last year, but next year it might be important. Because when you read a lot of newspaper, you get a sense. Like I told you that things related to artificial intelligence, things related to data management, etc. These are the things which government loves doing these days. Remember ethics paper this year, UPSC asked a question, artificial intelligence, what is the humane side of it? Why did the government of India ask this question? Why did UPSC ask this question in GS paper 4? GS paper 4 would never ask you direct questions which is related to this type of government implementation, etc. Why would they ask this type of question? The reason being that India is a part of a global alliance which is working towards humanitarian use of artificial intelligence, and India is a big advocate of it, right? So Global Alliance on Artificial Intelligence, or it's called as Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence, GPAI. And what is India doing there? India is a chair of that. And what is India doing? India is telling everybody in the world that use artificial intelligence, but not against humanity. The human side should be kept alive. So that is why ethically, which means that it fits the ethics principles. Hence that question, instead of being asked in GS paper 2, it was asked in GS paper 4. So easily UPSC does these kind of things. They will pick up a topic which is meant for something else, they will ask you that in GS paper 3. Then what are we going to do? Where will we complain? Nobody will listen to it because UPSC will judge you based on that day's performance. So rather than complaining and saying negative things about the system, exam, etc., let's be prepared and crack the exam. When you reach that level, you can change the system. Simple. So guys, today we'll continue with the schemes that we did in MSMEs. We'll continue. And today's schemes are the brand new schemes which government introduced, and the government just loves to boast about it everywhere. So that's why we'll put full focus on that. And number 2, we are going to do startups. Under startups, so far I haven't seen any big question related to startup in mains, but my sense is that it can start anytime. Because now it's been quite a few years. The startup started in India in 2016. So since 2016, it's been almost 8 years, 9 years, and the government hasn't asked even a single question on startup in mains. But you never know. Like artificial intelligence question was never asked like this in GS paper 4. This year it was. So similarly, be ready for next year. So we'll also be ready. So today we are going to do that topic with a lot of new elements inside it. Oh, you missed it. So test schedule will be, for example, some topics which are very deep. So let's say I teach you that topic for 2 days, and on the 3rd day in the class itself we'll have a test. But sometimes what happens is, unless you cover a substantial portion, because things are interconnected, even if I take a test, it will be a wastage of time. So like this topic was such that unless we cover a substantial portion, including today, we won't be in a position to write test. So that's why the test tomorrow. So some topics 2 days test, some topics same day test, some topics 1 week test. This is how I have planned this time, based on the importance and the changing exam pattern. Now, same system, wherever you have doubts, you keep writing it somewhere, 10:25 to 10:30. Today I'm planning to stop because the content I have prepared is till that only, and then I would like to talk with you. If you have any doubts, I'll clarify, and then a few things, because as faculties, when we teach, we also observe. So I've observed, because all of us have to appear in UPSC. So whatever little points I have observed, I'll talk about it around 10:25. And whatever doubts you have, I'll clarify. Fine. So let's start without wasting time. So please write. Let's continue the schemes. So what is the scheme that we did yesterday? Fatafat, please remind me, let's do a revision. What scheme did we do, guys? First scheme related to MSMEs. Mudra Yojana. Mudra Yojana. What is the maximum amount under Mudra Yojana? 20 lakhs. And can you please tell me when did the scheme start? 2015. 2015. Is collateral required under Mudra Yojana? Collateral not required. Because we are trying to help somebody through financial assistance. If you ask collateral, what is the point of giving the financial assistance? Wonderful. Now, what is the other scheme that we did? Spurti. Under Spurti, you provide individual help or cluster-based model. And if somebody will ask you a question that why cluster-based model is required for a developing country, because we cannot provide enough resources individually. So rather than saying that I will not give you any help, the government of India said, cluster model, let us start with the cluster model. But don't you think that we already have ODOP? then what is the need of this Spurti? Absolutely, because there can be multiple unique products. So you don't have to leave anybody behind. So how do you help everyone? So unique product, treatment, and secondary, tertiary, etc., which means that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 other products. Don't leave anyone behind and provide help to them. That's one of the things we can do. Acha bataiye, I want to ask you one more question. Whenever it comes to your mind, say nobody asked me this question, but I'm going to pose this question to you, and then I'll give the answer. So, for example, in National Industrial Corridor Development Program, did you notice that Government of India had started this smart city, industrial smart city, only in the selected belt, the outer ring? Why? That is discrimination, isn't it? Because other states and other parts of India are not getting it. Okay, discrimination, discrimination. You answer, please. That class you attended, you asked me out also. First class. Is that discrimination? Geography, is that discrimination? Because we are giving only 12 industrial smart city. But doesn't democracy mean that you have to first develop those areas which are not developed? If I have money, you keep on giving me more money. Export and import. So let's read what your online friend has written, then I'll come back to you. Next answer has to come from you. So because transportation is okay, limited resources, great. So Vaibhav, very nice. Planned cities are wonderful. Very good. Nice. Good answer. Please tell me.
So they lie on the roadmap of the cluster.
They lie on the roadmap of the cluster. Almost similar point with minor modification. Almost similar point.
Sir, less resources required. Like if an underdeveloped city will be developed, then more resources in India is lacking.
Absolutely, absolutely. Infrastructure, very nice. Yes, please.
Regional specialization.
Development peripheral towards planning agro. Also, very good answer, by the way. Nice. Almost like 80% correct answer online. I read all your answer. 80% correct. Okay, what is your take? Reason could be? Brilliant. So, anything that you want to add? Same answer? Yeah, most points have been covered. Yes, same answer. Actually, correct. Yes. So, there are 2, 3 points. The first point is that the transport corridor there, as you remember, RRA, Road Railway Airport, long time back, 2011, it started with that outer ring itself. And then when the government of India reached many states said we don't have land. So government of India said then I will occupy it. So the state started to no, give us time. So when a state says no, then center can force. But center cannot force for industry. Center can force for things of national importance. If you are producing curd and cheese, you cannot tell the state that this is of national importance, I'll forcefully occupy land. For defense purpose you can, national highway you can. But many states, they don't say no. They say that we need time, rehabilitation, local population, this, that. So in that case, what happens? Center stick, I'll wait. So in that case, what happens? There is a delay. And when there is a delay, since you don't have developed roads and you haven't developed your airports, railway stations, so how would a smart city come? So that's one of the reasons that in that outer circle, RRA was already developed. That's one. Second, you have to start somewhere. And where do you start? You start it as an experiment in those places where the supporting facilities already exist, like RRA. So it's easy for you to do the experiment, and from there you do the learning. Okay, these are the things that I need to do, these are the things I need to take care, and then you start to launch it in deeper pockets of the country. Now, exactly this should be our method of UPSC preparation. So for example, you're preparing for UPSC, you divide the subjects into 3 types. The first type is the red zone. Red zone would be those things which give me immense headache every day. So suppose I'm preparing for UPSC, geography gives me nightmares, economics gives me nightmares, 2 subjects. So what do? That's my red zone. There would be subjects which I love doing. I can study forever and ever, which I don't have to do. And so how will I become IAS officer? Right? So for example, let's say polity. I love doing culture, history, etc. So this is my green zone because I love doing it. Then there's a transition zone. Call it as a yellow zone. So this transition zone would mean that it depends on your mood. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't like it. Sometimes some areas you love doing it, some areas give you trouble in those subjects. So what do you do in those kind of things? For example, CSAT could be that zone, where some areas are comfortable, some areas are not comfortable. After you divide them into 3 parts, you first pick that part which is your biggest strength and give very less time to it and try to achieve as much perfection. Perfection is a myth, but try to achieve as much efficiency in those areas as possible from UPSC perspective in a short time. So let's say you are, very good in polity. So what do? Spend 1 week and try to cover polity and governance, at least the outline. Whatever maximum you can do in that 1 week looking at PYQ, etc. That will give you confidence that my strength is taken care of. Now let me enter into my weak areas, or first yellow zone and then the weak areas. Because if you directly start with those areas where you are not comfortable, all day you will feel sleepy. And then your efficiency will go down and your confidence will also go down that I don't know what will happen to me. But imagine if you are focusing on your strength area in the beginning and then you go to that yellow zone and then you reach that area, then you realize I have already covered 2/3 of the syllabus. Only that 1/3 is left which is so doable now. But if you keep focusing on that 1/3 which is giving you trouble, the remaining 2/3 where you have strength is gone. Remember Dr. Raghuram Rajan's principle. That also includes services along with manufacturing because you are very good in services. Same thing you should be doing. And same thing Government of India does when they implement the plan. So what do they do? Whenever they implement a big plan, etc., what they do is they look at supporting infrastructure and then they launch the projects. And then they start saying that let me go deeper into the country because you cannot discriminate. DPSP says you cannot discriminate. So there is no discrimination, it's just the beginning. Okay? So these are some of the thought processes that should be there in your mind. Will UPSC ask you a question on one of the schemes, a small scheme, and say analyze the scheme? They never do that. They will ask you a question that discuss financial inclusion. Under that, then you will have to talk about Mudra Yojana, etc., etc. And in one line, you will have to discuss everything. So I have never seen UPSC asking a very small 2-line on a scheme and saying that discuss or explain. They will not, but they will definitely ask you a question on themes, inclusive growth, financial inclusion, poverty reduction, women empowerment, where all these schemes have to be analyzed separately, but in 2 lines. So what is the biggest strength that you have to develop? These are the things I wanted to talk today. So what is the biggest strength that you need to develop for UPSC? Same mode with less words. That's the beauty of this exam. The more you speak and the more you say, the lesser marks you are going to get. Less speak, so which means that if you speak a little less, but your words carry weight, you will get very good marks. And specific words are required for specific topics. Today we'll see a few words. So guys, when I give you dictations or teach you schemes, please try to see the schemes from a different perspective, not a generalist perspective. That it's okay, it's a scheme. No. There are some specific words there which are hidden, which we'll be doing today. So let's start with that. The first scheme that we'll do today is Aspire. So please write Aspire scheme. Aspire scheme. Just write the name, nothing else. Aspire scheme. First question to you. The question I want to ask, and everybody has to answer and at least attempt. Question is that suppose I'm the government of India and I have named a scheme Aspire. What am I trying to do? Am I trying to help somebody who is already very big in the field of business? Or am I trying to help somebody who is trying his or her hands at doing something in terms of business? Obviously, trying to do something big in life. What if I've already started a business, but I'm not getting good results and I feel that I need more help? Can I go to the government and say that I also aspire to be a little big in life? Yeah, I can. Which means this scheme is not only meant for those who are absolutely new, but this scheme is meant for those who aspire to either start or those who are already in business but they're not doing well. Which means aspiration can be of two types, to start something or to make something better. This is how names are important. So what is the government doing there? Last year the Aspire scheme was totally different. This year the scheme has changed. Name is same, scheme has changed. My name is Jayanta. I'm teaching you economics. Now imagine this year I'm teaching you economics, but next year some other faculty comes, his or her name will also be Jayant, but the face will change. That is exactly what has happened with Aspire. So last year Aspire was different. This year the government says no. Scheme's name is fine. Component should be changed because country has changed. Wow. I wish they had kept a new name because it's confusing for those who are preparing since last year. So now the Aspire name is same. The scheme is different. So what are the two things under the scheme? Guys, focus on this one. Absolutely correct. The focus of the scheme is either to help somebody who wants to start. And how do you help somebody who wants to start? Hold their hand and tell them that, hey, you are going to start the business for the first time. You might need certification. I'll help you with certification. You might need to understand what are the rules and regulations of this country to register a business. I will help you. You might not be very familiar with the technology that is required in your business because you are new, first generation. You don't have any help. I will give you the technology. Maybe you don't know how to maintain accounts. I will help you to maintain the accounts. Maybe you don't know how to operate a software because businesses also require to maintain data. So the government of India says, I will teach you software. And when everything is taught, everything is ready, I will help you to open a factory itself. This type of facility, where starting from the first point that, hey, I will tell you which licenses are required, I will tell you how to use software, how to get training in finance, everything, starting from the first step till the opening of factory. Anybody who provides you this kind of training is called incubators. I will teach you incubator in half an hour, but this is also called as incubator. This is the concept of incubator. Are you understanding? This is the concept of incubator. So what is Government of India saying? Government of India is saying that if, what has to do, very, very important, and you have to catch the keywords, I will ask you questions. What is the keyword here? The keyword is, guys, focus on, I will ask you deeper questions today. So what is the government doing? Government is saying, listen to the story, please. Government is saying, if there is anybody who wants to create business to help rural areas solve any particular problem, be it problem of water crisis, electricity, clean air, anything. So if you are thinking of creating a business specifically to help rural areas, then I will bring you. And I will tell you, come to my training institute. I will help you with all the training required and setting up a factory. But to help whom? To help specifically rural area. By default, if urban area also gets the benefit, no problem. But my aim is to help the rural area. That type of training institute which helps the businesses to design solutions for rural area is called as Livelihood Business Incubator. So Livelihood Business Incubator would be a training institute like this. And what does this institute do? Listen to it again, please. What does the institute do? This institute brings anyone who wants to start a business, but under one condition. Your business has to be designed for rural area. For example, let's say that I belong to Uttarakhand and I feel that my area has a problem of landslide. And whenever landslide happens, people get stuck in the debris and it's difficult to save life. So I tell the government of India, I want to create a, let's say, drone. So that if somebody gets stuck in the debris, landslide, etc., I can send the drone and save lives, send medicine, etc., etc. I can do a survey. So government of India says, no, but it sounds like an urban area drone. I say, no, my drone will have features that it can operate in rain, it can operate anywhere, small size will be there so that if it wants to enter the deep forest or the tunnel, it can. It's specifically designed for a rural area. Then government of India says, let me check your design. So I'll show the design and then they'll say, design is not good. I'll say, help me out. So then say, chalo beta, let's go to incubator. That's your institute where we will help you. So suppose I design the incubator, they help me, to design, polish, etc., and then produce the incubator. Produce the drone. And after the drone is ready, suppose I'm selling the drone and gifting the drone in my rural area, etc., etc. But somebody in the urban area also comes and I also want one drone. I will not say no to it. But I didn't design the drone for them. If they want it, they take it. But I have specifically designed it only for the rural area. Hence, government is supporting me. Are you understanding this point? And where is this kind of thing done? It is done specifically by Government of India, Ministry of MSME. Ministry of MSME. And what do? They design this called incubator called as Livelihood Business Incubator. So Livelihood Business Incubator is meant for those who are starting a business or who are already running and becoming master class in business. Starting the business, that's your Livelihood Business Incubator. But there is a problem. Suppose that I already have a business, which means that I'm trying to give, let's say, an affordable solar cell to the rural areas. There are so many solar cells, but it's very costly even today. If you ask me, it's very costly. If the government gives subsidy only, then the price comes down. But don't you think that we have amazing who have the skill that if you give them little support, they can design affordable solar cells, the ones which are being sold in China, for example. They have designed amazing solar cells. So, for example, US has also designed amazing solar cells through its research centers. India, by giving subsidy, we have reduced the price artificially, but naturally our... So, for example, let's say, are you trying to create solar cells? But it's very costly. beta, why don't you design affordable solar cells which can be used by the society? I'll say, well, there is one technology or machine missing that is available in US, but I can't import that. It's very costly. So they'll say, okay, let's do one thing. Let me take you to the government of India. I'll say, what will government do? So then somebody tells me that you already have your factory running. I said, yeah, it's running, already running, but the solar cell is costly. So then say, let's go to the government of India, Ministry of MSME. Chalo, let's go to Ministry of MSME. I went there, I said, can you help? Ministry of MSME says, come take admission here. I say, I don't need admission. It's like I have already passed school. I'm a school pass out. I'm in the college and somebody is saying, beta, go back to school. Why will I go back to school? So then I said, no, but help me. So they said, okay, one help for you. How much money do you require to buy that machine from USA or wherever it is available, India, US, wherever, import, export, whatever. So I said, I need 100 rupees. So then the government of India said, listen to it carefully, bacho. I said, I need 100 rupees. So government of India said, 100 rupees what? I said, loan, obviously. So then the government of India says, out of this 100 rupees, we are going to give you, example, we are going to give you 25 rupees as free. That's absolutely free. It will be given to you in your pocket. I said, how? So government of India said, just give us the list of technology that you are trying to purchase. All the details, we will verify. If we find that you are a genuine person through our sources, then we will send you to a participating bank. For example, SDFC, SBI, they can be the participating bank. So government of India puts its money with these banks. See, Prime Minister cannot go home to home, house to house and start giving cash, hey, take cash, take cash. It is only done during election time. After that, they don't do all these things. So what will the government of India do? Government of India will take cash and put it in the banks. And then if you need 100 rupees, listen to it carefully, I'll ask questions. If government of India, if you go to government and say, I need 100 rupees to buy a machine, government of India will say, beta, 100 rupees we cannot give you as free, but out of this, 15 rupees can be given in your pocket as absolute. Your 25 rupees can be given as free to you. 25. I said, what about 75? So government of India says, beta, the remaining 75, you have to take in the form of a loan and rate of interest will be charged, but rate of interest will be subsidized. I said, how much? So government of India said, depends on the rate of interest at that time in the economy. And I will say, who decides the rate of interest? They tell me, RBI. So I'll tell them, okay, give me an example of rate of interest. How much will you charge? They say anything around 3 to 5%, depending on the market conditions. 3 to 5%. So I said, this is reasonable because normal rate of interest is 15-20%, and you are giving me 3 to 5%, I'm happy. So then I asked the question to government of India, government, what if my company is owned by women? Now imagine guys that I'm a girl. Don't over imagine. Imagine that I'm a girl and I own one company called MSME. I go to the government of India and tell the government I need 100 rupees loan. What will the government do? See the 25 rupees in my pocket and say, beta, you are a girl, 25 rupees in your pocket, 75 rupees as loan. Done. But imagine, I'm not a girl. I am a boy. Then I go to the government. I need 100 rupees loan. Government says, oh, you have come. I say, yes. So government says, beta, for you 15 rupees. I said, gender discrimination. I need 15 rupees in my pocket only. And remaining 85 rupees I have to give from my own pocket. Why? Because I have to take loan. 85 rupees loan. So 15 rupees subsidy. So if the company is owned by a women, STs, hilly area, tribal area, under these conditions, the government of India says, if you need 100 rupees loan, 25 rupees subsidy to you, free of cost. You don't have to return. But if you do not belong to this group, and the government calls this group as disadvantaged group. If you do not belong to this group, for example, women, STs, hilly area and tribal area, if you don't belong to this group and still you are the owner of MSME, then if you go to a bank, you ask for 100 rupees for technological upgradation or buying a machine, then bank will give you 15 rupees as subsidy and remaining 85 rupees you have to take as loan at the same rate of interest 3 to 5%. So that rate of interest for women-led business or men-led business, that rate of interest is 3 to 5%, it's same. But the subsidy part is different. For women it's like 25% and for men it's 15%. That's your scheme. I want to ask you questions. And then I will show you the diagram because diagram is so easy. But I want you guys to develop a photographic memory in the class itself about the schemes. It will really help you, trust me. Because acha soch ke dekho, imagine this. Reducing solar energy, very nice. One of a friend has given an example that there is one IS officer by the name Manu Srivastava. What is he doing? Madhya Pradesh is doing amazing work in terms of reducing solar energy cost. His Reva project has left a major mark on the government. Really? Wow, very nice. So in MP there is a place called as Reva, no? There's a place called Reva? Reva Satna? Yeah, that means that project. Oh, that is why the name of the project is. You are a well aware person. Very nice. Thank you so much for informing. So, and maybe I'll try to dig into it and see if this person can also be an inspiration. I'll bring the picture in the class. Who is from Riva? Pankaj, you are from Riva. Very nice. Good. Which river flows through Riva? Tell me two rivers through Riva and Satna. Is there a crocodile park there? Bataiye. Come back, please. So, question for you guys. Now, first question. Can you please tell me? Absolutely correct. Can you please tell me that under this scheme, Aspire, what are the two components? Two components of Aspire. Just think about it, okay? Now imagine that you are appearing in prelims. Just think about it. I'm going to give you some visualizations. Imagine this and see how empowered you will be. So you are appearing in prelims, a question comes and the question says Aspire. Now, the rest of the students, they will start to read the question and think Aspire. What will be your reaction? Aspire. Oh, aspiration can belong to two categories. One, if you want to start something. One, if you want to grow something. Two components. And then you will read the question. You already have it in the background now. It becomes so easy for you to attack the question. Now imagine you had a question in mains which says, which are the schemes designed by Government of India to promote business? Immediately you will say, Acha, there are two types of businesses. One which wants to start, one which wants to grow. So you will divide your answer in two parts. If you want to start, this is scheme. If you want to grow, this is scheme. Amazing. Isn't it? See, automatically your answer will become better. But if you don't study it like this and if you study it like a headache that I have to study another scheme, then what will happen is you will become negative. Things when you learn. Can you tell me the two components of this? Two components. So what is the name of the first component to start something? Which incubator name? Livelihood Business Incubator, because if you succeed, it provides livelihood to you and the people who work for you. So livelihood business incubator, awesome. Number two could be, okay, I did, to grow something. Let's try to see if we can create a name, and then we'll tally that whether our name matches with government's name. What did I tell you? Under the second scheme, when you want to grow something, what are you asking from the government? Loan technically is called as credit. So whenever you ask for credit from the government, linked to the credit, the government of India gives you something called as subsidy. So what can be the name of the scheme? Credit linked? Brilliant. And that's your scheme, credit linked subsidy. That's the second part, second component of Aspire. So what are the two components of Aspire? The two components of Aspire are, this was not true last year. Last year it was different. First is LBI and the second is credit linked subsidy. These are the two components. So if UPSC will ask you that you have to describe all the, they will not ask you one scheme. They will ask you to discuss all the schemes. So how will you write this scheme? First you will write Aspire, then you will write, I'll dictate. You will write two components, this and this, then you explain this. And to explain credit linked subsidy, you will have to draw this diagram. This is how you write these answers. Is it okay? Schemes are not boring. Don't say that schemes are boring. Please write. Aspire has two components. Aspire has two components. Aspire has two components. Number one, livelihood business incubator. Livelihood business incubator. Let's explain what is that. Under LBI, what is LBI? Livelihood Business Incubator. Under LBI, the government provides hand-holding support to establish business which aims to provide some solution to a rural problem. Number B. So that was the first one. Livelihood business incubator is the first component. Second component is like credit linked subsidy scheme. Credit linked subsidy scheme for MSMEs. CLSS. Credit linked subsidy scheme. CLSS. Please draw this. And I strongly suggest you one more thing again, because this is the beginning of our classes. It will really help you. Whenever you come for this class early morning, the best phase of the day, make sure that whatever stress, whatever tensions you have, you keep it outside till the class is going on. I'll tell you why, because then you can make the best out of this class. If you carry anything that is bothering you, any stress, any problems, what will happen is that problem cannot be solved in the class, because suppose some problem is there which is very personal or emotional problem. Somebody blocked your number. That cannot be solved in the class. But what additional problem will happen is neither you will be able to solve that problem and you will miss out on today's lecture as well. So let's learn one thing in life, how to compartmentalize different things in our brain. Something bothers you, keep it in another compartment. And in the class, give your 100%. You'll really enjoy and you'll give good output in the exam. Your number of attempts will come down, I'm telling you. These are the short tricks which helps us to succeed. Northeast. So this is ST's Northeast, and then you have hilly areas and women. Northeast, hilly areas and women. We will use any a lot in the class, okay? Any would mean Northeast. And for example, whenever I write MFG, you should also learn these tricks. MFG would mean manufacturing. SVS would mean services. This is how we can save a lot of time, because every now and then we'll keep on writing MFG, SVS. And it would mean Northeast. And CLSS would mean Credit Linked Subsidy Scheme. There is one more topic where I'll teach you Credit Linked Subsidy Scheme. Name of that topic is agriculture. So when I teach you agriculture, I'll just check if that scheme is still applicable, because whenever I come to your class, I try to update myself just a day before to see if everything is there or not. So because currently it is there. So if it's there, I'll definitely teach you, and there also I'll teach you CLSS for agriculture. This is CLSS, that's why I've written the full form. CLSS for MSME. And another CLSS is CLSS for agriculture. It's different. Now please write. Let's explain this. Please write that under CLSS, the government provides a part of the loan requirement of the MSMEs in the bracket, please write oblique 25%, 15% oblique 25% in the subsidy loans, another part in the form of loans at low interest rates. Full stop. It is applicable for new enterprise as well as those businesses which are looking for technological upgradation. Technological upgradation. Full stop, please. PB, what you do is, once I complete this, I'll give you some time, then I'll answer this question. Question registered. Let me complete the story, okay? That's a pen. This pen is being manufactured in this factory, guys. Alright, so listen to the story, because whatever I'm teaching you, it's in the form of a story, all connected. So if the story fits in your mind, 99% of your mains problem solved, and through dictations, the prelim problems is also solved, because we're writing all the details, the prelims details. So now imagine that this pen has to be manufactured. Listen to the story carefully, why Government of India is so happy with the scheme, which I'm going to teach you now. This is a brand new scheme. So what is the Government of India doing? Government of India says, you, mister, you are manufacturing this pen in your MSME. I said, yes. Then Government of India asked me, how are you packaging it? I said, I'm packaging it like this. So I'm taking my pen, I'm taking a wrapper, and then I'm putting my pen like this inside this wrapper. Then the Government of India says, and then what do you do? Then I tell the government then that I'm taking a box like this, then I'm putting this pen inside the box, then I'm putting a cover over it. Government says, wow. I said, what happened? What's wrong? So Government of India says, beta, what's your cost of production? I said, cost of production is what is the money that I'm putting from my side to produce the pen? Cost involved in the pen. So I told the Government of India, cost involved in the pen is 7 rupees plus 2 rupees profit. 3 rupees profit. So the price of the pen is 10 rupees. Government of India said, out of this 7 rupees cost, and this is profit, out of this 7 rupees cost, government asked me, what is the price of the packaging that you have used? This wrapper, this box. I said, it's very costly. So government of India told me, what is the price? I said, 2 rupees. Which means 5 rupees is the price of the plastic, the ink, 5 rupees. 2 rupees is the price of this wrapper, colorful boxes, 2 rupees. Government said, this 2 rupees is the price of the box and the packing, and this is the price of the body of the pen and the ink, and this is your profit. I said, yes. So Government of India said, not required. I said, what are you saying, Government of India? Government said, not required. I said, why? So government said, because you're wasting your money. Your product can become competitive in the market if you reduce the price. This packaging that you're doing is not adding any value to your product. Go and look at the international scenario and see how they are packaging. They are packaging in biodegradable substances, plus the packaging is very environment friendly. And what are you doing? Plastic, putting a layer of plastic, putting a layer of materials. Why? Because the moment you do this and you try to export your pen to Europe, they'll reject it. They will say that your pen is not environment friendly. So you will not become competitive because you are using too much of plastic over it. This pen is plastic, I understand, but why to add plastic over plastic, plastic over plastic? And the more the layers of packaging, more is the carbon footprint. Because to manufacture these boxes, you are using machines somewhere else. And that machine also releases carbon. So if I calculate the total amount of carbon which is involved in this pen, to manufacture this pen, carbon is released, huge amount of carbon emission is there. And Europe has a rule that whenever you supply anything to Europe, they will calculate the amount of carbon that was released in manufacturing the pen plus packaging. And higher the carbon, the lesser of the chances they will buy your product. And in fact, Europe is putting a tax over these products. If you sell this pen to Europe, Europe will calculate how much carbon was released in the pen and the packaging. 10 units carbon, suppose 10 units, they will put a 10% tax over you. And your price of the pen will increase. Nobody in Europe will buy it. This is how they are treating these kind of products. So Government of India says, better reduce the packaging. So I said, government without packaging, who will buy? Government says, take a small piece of paper and envelope, put it inside it and write pen. That's it. Which means that this 2 rupees can easily convert into 10 paisa. 0.10. 10 paisa you can easily pack. Why are you spending 2 rupees on that? So I said, the Government of India, what are you trying to do with me? Government says, nothing. I'm trying to lean your process. What is leaning? Leaning would mean thinning. So what is the Government of India trying to do? The Government of India asked me, beta, what are the things that you are doing? I said, this. Government said, this is not required. Remove it. So when you remove a process which is not adding any value or it is not required, completely avoidable, that's called leaning. So similarly, we have some habits in life which are totally not required. What should we do? Leaning. And if you lean, your quality of life will improve. There are some people around us who will constantly tell us, you can't do this. You won't be able to crack UPSC because of this, because of that, because you started late, because, for example, you're not studying this book, this test series, that test series, etc. What is that? That is totally unproductive things, unproductive people around us. Why? Because how do they know what is the potential inside us? How do I know what is the potential inside somebody who is in Antarctica? So what do we do in life? We don't tell people that you are bad, etc. Just lean it. So, for example, try to be less in touch with those people who make you negative during these kind of phases of your life where you are about to face some big competitive exam. Because every kind of emotion that you surround yourself with has an effect over you. So try to make sure that you are less in touch with these kind of people for a particular phase and try to surround yourself with more positive people. It helps. Because the positivity that you have in your mind helps you to retain things and understand things in a very nice manner. And so that you can use it in the exam as well. And imagine an interview. If you are a sadist person and you are going in an interview, UPSC will ask you, the board will ask you, what do you feel is the condition of corruption in this country? You will say, very bad. You have no idea, everybody is corrupt. IS officer is corrupt, politician is corrupt, everybody is corrupt. Thank you, never come again. Why? Because you are talking like a sadist person. What could be the other answer? The other answer could be, yeah, corruption is a big problem because the country is big, we are democracy, and yes, there are system loopholes, but then we have to try over a period of time through various good governance methods to minimize it. Don't use the word eliminate, because not everything can be eliminated. So what should you say? We should try to, because if you try to eliminate something, you will become almost like a, autocrat. You'll start to move around with a gun and sword and say, anybody who does corruption, I'll eliminate you. So elimination word should not be used. You should say, I'll try to minimize, because that's the most practical approach. So don't give negative answers. Don't be a negative person. Always be a positive person. Look at the bright side. It will reflect in your answers. And trust me, I have seen best of students getting decent marks in mains, but in interview, when the board sees that this person is a problem because this person is so negative. If I send this person to Lavasana for training, other person who are there with them, they will also become negative. They will reduce your marks. Deliberately, they will suppress you. Despite having very good marks in these, they will suppress you to the extent that you won't be able to make it to the list. But I have also seen the opposite. What I have seen. This will really help you. I have seen that somebody had just crossed the margin marks of mains. So suppose the mains cutoff is example XYZ. So somebody got just 1 mark more than XYZ. The person went in the interview. Interview would ask the question. The person was not very good in the interview, not ready for that. Maybe first attempt, second attempt. So what did UPSC do? UPSC said that this person is good because there is potential. Marks are not that good. 260, 230, 240. Amazing. And then what happens? Whatever you have got little in your mains, that is compensated in your interview. Both the things are done in the interview. I'm telling you this. So, what you should be doing. What you should be doing is whatever you did in mains, you can't change that. You're already done. You have done well in the mains. But when it comes to interview, the more positive you are, and it shows in your face and your eyes. You can't hide that. They are experts in that. They're pro in finding it out. They have done that for 40 years. They have been into service. They will know what you are thinking. So just try to make yourself positive from today onwards only. Always look at the brighter side. When it comes to the negative side, use it to improve your argument by saying this is the shortcoming. Let's improve. That's it. So guys, when you look at this, what is the government saying? Government is coming to the factory and saying, boss, reduce this. There are two reactions of this company. The company can say, government, don't interfere. This is monopoly. Or the second could be, hey, you're right. Because if I unnecessarily put my money, my product will become uncompetitive. Europe will put a tax over me. Let me reduce. Which is leaning. So what is the government doing with the industry? They are practicing something called leaning. That's number one. Number two, the government of India told this factory that, how much of plastic are you using? I said, fully plastic. The government of India said that, is it biodegradable? I said, no. So then government of India told me, again problem. Because currently it's not a problem, but tomorrow there will be a country in the world which will say that we will not import anything which has biodegradable plastic absent in it. We need biodegradable plastic. What will you do at that time? Because China has already developed that. And China will keep on exporting and you will keep on waiting. I said, that's right. Futuristic. What do I do? So I told the government, what do I do? Please tell me. Government said, nothing better. You invest money in research. I said, invest money in research. How? Who will give me money to invest in research? So government of India said, haven't you heard something of the nature called as credit link subsidy scheme? I said, yeah, I've heard it. CLSS, taught in Wajiram, right? It's 15%, 25%. The government said, avail it. Why are you not availing it? I said, that's also right. But then I told the government of India, government, you must be kidding. Government said, why? I said, because the maximum limit of the credit link subsidy scheme is 15 lakh rupees. I said, okay. Which means that, remember that credit part, the subsidy part, 15%, 25%, there is a cap over there. They cannot give you more than 15 lakhs, 15 lakhs. So then I told the government of India, government, the technology which I use to develop biodegradable plastic and the machine, its price is 3 crores. How do I buy that? Because India does not manufacture it. It is manufactured in Sweden. So I told the government of India, I have to buy it from Sweden because currently we don't have it. Government says, I'll help you. I said, how? So government of India said, currently we don't have any plan, but in future maybe we will help you. I said, then why are you telling me that I should develop a new plastic? So government said, wait, let me design a new scheme for you called as, something called as Credit Guarantee Scheme. Budget 2024. This solution came in the budget 2024. So government of India said that I have designed a scheme for you called Credit Guarantee Scheme, budget 2024. I said, what are you doing under it? So government of India said, to promote technology in your business, because I'm telling you, promote technology, have biodegradable plastic. But I have not been able to help you because you need 2 crore rupees, 3 crore rupees, but the maximum limit of credit link subsidy scheme, that subsidy part is 15 lakhs. So I can't help you. So I have designed this scheme whereby the government of India says that this is the government and this is, let's say, MSME. So government of India says, if there is any MSME which requires up to rupees 100 crores, up to rupees 100 crore for promotion of technology, and government will verify you because technology is costly. So government of India says up to 100 crore I have kept as the amount that I will help you with. So if you need money, for example 2 crore, you can come to the government of India. Government of India will give you 2 crore rupees, which is totally collateral free. No collateral, zero collateral for you. But obviously this money has to be returned. Hence government of India says that now you will have to operate as per my guidelines. So first guideline that you will have to use to get all these things is you have to use leaning technique. Unnecessary process, completely stop. I said done. Then government of India said, then you come to me and then you are eligible for this 2 crore rupees without any collateral, but we will sign a contract that in how many years you have to return the money, what will be the EMI. I said natural. Third thing that the government of India says is, beta, wait. Because this is not good enough. I'm giving you 2 crore, 5 crore, 60 crore, 100 crore, you are taking so much of money. Third condition that you have to fulfill is this, that the moment you start to manufacture pen now, Government of India will give you specific quality standard which is based on international standards. So government roams around the world and finds out what is the internationally accepted quality of these pens, which plastic should be used. That will be told to this factory and government says you have to manufacture internationally acceptable standard of plastic which we are going to examine and audit regularly in your factory. And if you fulfill all this, then we will give you a certificate called as ZED. Zero effect, zero defect. Which means the government of India says that the quality of your pen should be such that nobody should be able to find any defect in your quality. That level of quality you have to maintain and we will give you a certificate. If you fulfill all these things, we'll come and take the money. If you are ready for all these things, take the money. This is what government of India has done. So in the current budget, government designed this part. Why? Because there were many companies who were telling the government that government under credit link subsidy, the maximum subsidy you are giving is 15 lakhs. I mean 15 lakhs, what do we get in today's world? Nothing. So it was told by the government of India, don't worry, we are coming up with something. Last year government was saying, I am doing something for you, please wait, please wait. This year government said, this credit guarantee scheme, which means you can take the benefit of credit link subsidy scheme if you require something up to 15 lakhs. But if you require more, Then what you need to do is you need to tell the government, government, I require 1 crore, 2 crore, whatever it is, and government says, come, beta, take the money. But first you have to follow the technique called as leaning. Number 2, you will get the certificate like this. Then Government of India will provide you cash to improve your technology. But there is one more condition. What is the condition? Government of India says, I will give you 2 crore rupees to purchase the technology from Sweden, but then you have to sit with me and inform me that in future when you make profit, how much out of your profit you are going to spend in domestic research and development of new variety of pens in future. For the first time, Government of India is telling the MSMEs, let's sit, let's talk, let us decide if in future you are going to promote domestic technology or you keep coming to me and telling me, I want technology from Germany, I want technology from France. Sorry, not allowed. Beyond the point, I won't help you. I have already helped you for Sweden. Now you have to develop the domestic technology. I'm ready to provide you help. These are the conditions. So I remember that when I was reading budget, if you read the original budget, what is mentioned in the budget, Government of India has launched credit guarantee scheme worth 100 crore rupees for MSMEs and full stop. You try searching it, you will not find the details. Why? Because when journalists, etc., they write the details in the newspaper, maybe, I mean, they're not subject experts, so they can't connect these things. But when you go in the ministry portal, like MSME, etc., and to understand this scheme is the government launched, you have to read 5 other schemes. When you read 5, 6 schemes, in every scheme you see one element that if you do this, you become eligible for that. If you do this, you become eligible for this. Then you say, oh, wow. Which is they're connected. It's just that newspapers are not telling you this because nobody wants to put this much of effort in the newspaper. Some people do, but 99% people don't. And since this is a new thing, nobody has time to read. So people say, it's okay. This is a different scheme. It's not a different scheme. It's a scheme which is connected with other things. Now the main point. What are the 3 things that you gathered from this discussion? 3 important areas that you gathered. What about you guys? 3 important things that you gathered. Leaning, brilliant. Leaning is the first one. Second, ZED certification, brilliant, which means that your defect should be 0. When they say defect should be 0, that doesn't mean that it's almost perfect. There is nothing called perfect in the world, but it's as close to perfect as possible. Brilliant point. And third is promotion of domestic technology, super brilliant. All your online friends are also writing about domestic technology. How did you guys become so much mature? Unbelievable. Nobody said technology. You are saying domestic technology, which is brilliant point. Because the whole idea of this whole thing is to promote domestic technology. Very nice. So guys, if any factory or any MSME follows all these 3 things, what will you call that MSME as? Champion. Champion. Like global champion is different. Global champion will export. But you will simply call them as champion and you will say, wonderful, you are champion now because you are following all the principles of champion. Like today you are behaving like champions. So for the first time I'm going to call you as champions. So what is the name of this scheme? MSME champions. So if somebody will ask you what are the 3 components of MSME champion, what will you say? Hold on. What will you say? First component, leading. Second component, guys, only one component from online. Wonderful, ZED. Third component, which technology? Domestic technology. Wonderful thing. So please write MSME champions scheme. Please write MSME champions scheme. MSME champions scheme. Please write. And I saw some 1 or 2 questions that you wrote. I'll take it up, but let me complete the story part. I'll take all the questions at one go, don't worry. So MSME champions scheme. Actually, did you notice something? That I didn't teach you credit guarantee first. I taught you champions first because I had to link credit guarantee with this. So there is a certain way of learning the subject. So what happens is sometimes you might feel that no, but that scheme will come after 5 other schemes. So that's why there's a sequence we are following. So that's why I keep on telling you that write it out somewhere. 99% will automatically get clear. 1% which is left, I'll tackle it. So please write. MSME champions scheme. Okay. Under it, the government is trying to promote quality products, increase the efficiency of MSMEs, and promote innovation. Now please write, it has 3 components. Number A, please write MSME sustainable. Government has given this name, okay, we can't change it. MSME sustainable. In the bracket, please write ZED. And what is the full form of ZED? Zero defect, zero effect. Zero defect, zero effect. Practices are followed. Zero defect, zero effect practices are followed. For which zero defect, zero effect practices are followed. For which government provides ZED certification. For which government provides ZED certification. ZED certification. Number B, please write MSME competitive, lean, LEN, lean. Its name is like this only. MSME competitive lean. Please write under it, unproductive practices are eliminated. Unproductive practices are eliminated. Next, please write MSME innovative. Is right. The government is promoting the culture of domestic research and innovation in the MSMEs also. Full stop, please. So guys, I'm going to teach you the schemes like this. Listen to it carefully. First, I will teach you all the schemes which the government launched before budget. We'll complete all those first, Abhi. We are going to do that. Then I will ask you to write a title where you will write that the schemes for MSMEs in the budget 2024. Because UPSC has developed a very nice habit. What they do sometimes is they will tell you, discuss all the schemes released by the government of India or launched by the government during the budget 2024 related to MSMEs, related to agriculture, related to big industries, and related to textile, automobile, whatever it is. They will give you 5 names and they will tell you discuss that. One name cannot be given. Because if they give you MSME in 3 lines, the answer will be over. So they will take 5-6 things from the budget and they will say discuss the new initiatives by the government in these areas in the budget 2024. If you write these kind of schemes there, you will not get marks because these are pre-budget. So we have to write budget separately. This is how you integrate current affairs. So for example, Abhi dhyan se suna bacho, this is important. This is called capacity building. So I will train you in the schemes in such a way, and that's what I want. I will train you in the schemes in such a way that next year, when the new budget is released and new economic survey comes, I will make a video. That video I make every year for Wajiram. It's put on the Wajiram YouTube channel. So when you watch that video, since you have been trained in this style, that okay, whenever you look at the scheme, you first look at what are the ideas of the government behind it, why did the government do that, and then you look at the component. You will easily connect with it and you can update your notes. So for example, if today also you go to Wajiram YouTube channel, you will see one video that I have created on the budget, which is a 3 hour 20 minutes video. It's a 3 hour 20 minutes video where entire budget and all the relevant portions of economic survey has been integrated along with current affairs and taught. So next year also it will happen. So it's not a small video, it's a big video because it contains all the details. So next year it will become easy for you because if you are trained in this style, you can easily catch it. So next year what will be your job? You just have to add 1 page in this entire note, and what will that page be called as? Provisions of budget 2025. That's it. Provisions of budget 2025, and I will teach that through YouTube videos, which I do every year. So there, let's say there are 4 points. Include the 4 points, your answer becomes complete. You don't need to rewrite anything. Just 4 points from the video, note it down, and your answer is complete. You are good to go for the exam. Fine. Next scheme. Please look at the picture and answer a question. Have a look at it, please. No, not fully subsidized. Part of it. Look at it, please. What do you understand from here? Because tomorrow you'll have to make diagrams like this on your own. You have to develop the capability.
So if a manufacturer or MSME sends something to a trader, then the payment should come within 45 days. Otherwise, the penalty is there.
Brilliant. Absolutely correct. So I'll explain this in a slightly different way. Acha, bataiye, do you want a complicated explanation? Simple explanation. Simple. Okay, I'll give you a simple explanation, then I'll give you a complicated explanation. Then I'll tell you the difference between them. Just for this scheme, I'll do that. And we'll write the simple part. Complicated, I'm going to tell you to help you understand what you should not be doing. Just one example of what you should never do. And simple because we have to write simple things in the exam. Write it, please. Draw it, then we'll start the explanation. Samadhan is the next one. So let's see what your online friend has written. They have also explained. So they have said 100 rupee items sold. He has to read up. Very nice. You know all this, huh? Definitely. So guys, have you checked the Wajiram YouTube channel for the budget video? No? If you get time. Even if you don't get time, teach that in the class anyway, like today. If you have seen it, it's good for you. It's under the playlist called as Economic Survey and Budget 2024. If you go to Wajiram YouTube channel, there is a playlist. It says Economic Survey and Budget 2024. Oh, your online friends are watching it in parts, half an hour every day. Very nice. Good. So, do this, please. First, the simple explanation along with dictation, then little complication. But guys, I'm going to use 2-3 terms here, which we can do only when we do banking. So we will use the terms today, but explanation will come when we do banking properly. Because if I start banking and mix it with this, the topic will become very disturbed and chaotic. So see, what is this? There is one factory which is manufacturing pen, guys. Focus here, please. This factory manufactures, let's say, this pen. Now, this guy orders pen from this MSME, and this guy says that you please send me the pen. I will make the payment to you after 1 week. This MSME anyway is a struggling business. MSMEs are not like Tatas and Infosys. They are small businesses. So what they do is they look for customers all the time. They can't say no to a customer. So what do they say? They say, it's okay. I'm giving you the pen. So the pen has reached here. And this person says, 1 week, I will make the payment to you. This used to be the system in India in last 40 years, 50 years. And then what used to happen? This person most of the time used to make the payment either in 1 week, 2 weeks, etc. But then slowly what used to happen is they realized that there is no rule in India which prevents them from making a delayed payment. There is no rule which says, hey, why did you delay? Why don't you make timely payment? There is no rule. So they started to take advantage of this. And what is the advantage? Suppose there is a very small company which is giving them pen, which is giving them tomato ketchup, which is giving them paper, basic things, stationery items. So they knew that they had the money to give the payment. They knew they had the resources. But why would they delay? They would delay because they felt there is no check and balance. There is nobody who is going to ask me a question. So what is the system they followed? They used to tell this guy, just wait 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, done. So what did the government of India do? Government of India did a bit of research. That how much is the payment of the MSMEs which is pending? Guess the figures. You will be astonished to know the figures that this was the payment which was pending. It's unbelievable, mind-boggling figure. So how much? It's 1,000 crores. So government of India started to look at the pending payment over the last 50 years. It crossed 1,000 crores. 1,000 crores. Accumulated payment, high value items they are taking, they are not even making payments. And what are these people doing? They take the pen from MSME, they sell it somewhere else. And they don't give the payment to this guy. MSMEs realize that, wow, I am manufacturing the pen, you are taking it from me and you are selling it to somebody else at double the price. What about me? What about my cut? So they complain to the government of India that government, this is not good. And when we go to them, they tell us that sorry, we have not been able to sell, we don't have money, we are poor kids, etc., etc. This is how they used to fool these MSMEs. They are the richest people in the society because they are traders, because they are the middlemen. Huge amount of money is held by them, or maybe they are the end user in big corporates. Big corporates, they are not paying the money of the stationary items. But what is this? So government of India said, hold on. Immediately, government of India came to this guy and said, you, mister, do one thing. Whenever you sell something to these people now, you have to follow a rule. You create an invoice. Invoice is the bill. In that bill, you please write what is the amount. Amount is 100 rupees. And then the government of India said, you please write a note here. In that note, you should write that this payment of 100 rupees, which should come from here to here. So he should give 100 rupees. So this payment of 100 rupees at max should come in 45 days. The moment it crosses 45 days, immediately this invoice will be uploaded on a portal called Samadhan. This portal is maintained by Ministry of MSME. So government told this guy that you first write everything because this invoice is a contract actually. It acts like a contract. So when in the contract it is written that maximum time that you will get is 45 days, grace period. Not 1 week, but 45 days. If you cross 45, very next day this invoice goes here on Samadhan and government of India within 24 to 48 hours will start acting over it. And the moment government of India MSME receives it, Ministry of MSME, they will send a legal notice to this guy that, hello mister, what happened to the payment? So if this guy tries to evade, etc., government of India is going to file legal action and legal charges against him. His properties might be sold to recover that cash. But if this guy says, sorry, apologies, I'm ready to return the money. If he doesn't return the money, property sold, case filed against him, his business might be blacklisted, etc., etc. These things can happen to him. But if he says that, no, my mistake, apologies, I'm going to improve, then government of India says, okay, time for punishment. So what is the punishment? First, you have to return this 100 rupees to this. First, you have to return 100 rupees plus penalty. Why? Mental agony, harassment, plus delayed payment. So now government of India says that you have to pay a penalty. He says, how much is the penalty? So look at the government of India's formula of penalty, guys. Because this thing I can teach you only when I teach banking. But just for the sake of knowledge, I'm going to tell you something. If you go to a bank, what say? If you go to a bank and tell a bank, I need loan. Normally, bank will tell you that, okay, the loan these days is, example, the loan rate, normally home loan, vehicle loan, etc. is, let's say, 9.5%. This is what they will tell you, roughly, 9.5, 10%. But if you tell the bank that, no, I mean, I want to buy a house, but I don't have any proper business, any proper job, but I will make the EMI payment. So bank will tell you, oh, you want to buy a house, you want to take a home loan, but you don't have a proper job or business. Your job is temporary. Oh, then rate of interest will be high. So then rate of interest will become 12%. The more risky you are, the higher the rate of interest. But then RBI said something. RBI has a rule in India. RBI has said that there must be a limit to the highest rate of interest in India. Because if a bank starts to tell everyone that you are risky, and rate of interest starts to increase, फिर तो rate of interest might become 30%. Who stops them? Then anybody comes to my bank and I feel, oh, I can exploit. What will I do? If I'm the branch manager of the bank, I'll say, you are very risky according to me. That person says, I'm not risky, but bank manager will say, according to me, you are risky. And then I'll put the rate of interest at 30%, 35%, 40%, and nobody can stop me. So RBI said, this behavior is not good in a democratic setup. There must be a system. I'm the regulator. So RBI said, riskiness should also be attached to a cap of the interest rate. Interest rate cannot be increased beyond a limit. That limit of highest interest rate that you can charge from anybody in India is called as bank rate. It has another name, marginal standing facility rate. So if somebody will ask you for today's lecture, because we are not doing banking, and trust me, just like I'm doing industries with you, similarly I'll do banking with you. We are going to do entire surgery of banking, which means we are going to do into great details of banking, but not today, not possible. Because everything has to be studied in different compartments. But if somebody will ask you that which is the highest interest rate of India that anybody can charge in terms of a banking system, the highest interest rate that they can charge you is called marginal standing facility or bank rate. So another name for this high interest rate is punishment rate. Punishment rate. It has another name, it is also called as penal rate. So this question is one of the favorites of UPSC as well as other competitive exams. People know the answer, but very few people know that there are two rates which are called as punishment rates. People know only one rate sometimes, they don't know even the rate. But generally RBI's new rule says that there are two rates which are called punishment rates in India. So two punishment rates are there. So and both are equal. There are two names, both are equal. Oh wait, but then why there are two names? That means few years back they must be different. Yeah, a few years back they were different. This used to be the punishment rate earlier and this used to be little lower than the punishment. So just like when I have to severely punish somebody, what will I do? Block the number. But when I have to punish somebody to little lesser extent, what will I do? I'll stop responding. So if you send me a text, I don't respond. Punishment. But if you send me a text and I block your number, extreme punishment. So when I had to punish somebody, bank rate. When I had to extremely punish somebody, marginal standing facility rate. Then RBI realized, what is this? Pre-board, before board. Right. So RBI said this should not happen. 2, 3 punishment, etc. Directly block the number. So what did RBI do? RBI said marginal standing facility and bank rate will be equal. Why? People started to take advantage of this. So whenever I felt not talking to somebody, I used to say, I will avoid you. Everybody started to avoid everybody. Every bank started to charge this rate. Which is bad. Why should you have two punishments? Punishment should be only one, whether you keep it at high or low level. Because too many punishments confuse people. So RBI said that, okay, too many divisions will confuse. So what did RBI do? RBI said, let's equalize it. Bank rate and marginal standing facility rate. And RBI says, I will decide what is the bank rate of India and MSF of India. So whenever RBI conducts, Monetary Policy Committee conducts a meeting every quarter, what do they decide? They decide that what will be the punishment rate for next 3 months. They can change it, they cannot change it, their wish. We cannot do anything. Government cannot interfere there because it is in the realm of Monetary Policy Committee, and who makes the calculation? RBI. So this is decided totally by RBI. Marginal standing facility or bank rate. It is called punishment rate or penal rate. I'll give you a small dictation on this. But when we study banking, we have to spend almost a lecture on this. So there is a lecture which I provide in banking called as interest rates in India. The name of that topic itself is interest rates of India, where you study so many interest rate, deposit interest rate, lending rate, EBLR rate, so many rates we have to study, including these things, but not today. So guys, what is the punishment? So for example, let's say that the bank rate or the marginal standing facility rate is 7%, decided by RBI. You cannot decide it, RBI will decide it. So how much will you have to pay? 100 rupees plus 7%. That's the punishment that you will get. So who will decide this? RBI. In how many months it is changed? Depends. Every 3 months, RBI will decide what to do with it. Okay? So it's not necessary that it will change. I told you, RBI will decide if it has to change or not. So it's totally the wish of RBI depending on the economic condition. And we will get the details of this when we study this topic called as interest rate. So first, please write. All questions at the end, please write. It is called Samadhan. Samadhan. Did you draw this? Oh, already drawn. Why do we write? Please write that many a times, many a times, the MSMEs found it difficult. Many a times, the MSMEs found it difficult to recover their payment. Delayed payments, full stop, delayed payments affects not only the profit, but also the investment potential. Of the MSMEs. Hence the government designed Samadhan. I made a mistake, guys. It's not Samadhan, it's Samadhan. I just now realized. Please make a correction. It's Samadhan. You have to add the letter H. It's a Hindi word, so it's Samadhan. It could have been named slightly differently also, like solution oriented something, but they call it Samadhan, we have to call it Samadhan. What did you write? Sorry. Government designed Samadhan, which is managed by Ministry of MSME. Managed by Ministry of MSME. Change the paragraph and please write. Under it, if the MSMEs do not receive their payment up to 45 days, then the buyer has to return the payment along with a penalty which is equal to, now let's write how much the person has to return. Look carefully. So what are we writing? The buyer has to return payment along with penalty which is equal to, which means what is the total payment that the person has to pay? The total payment, look at this magic, the total payment that the person has to pay is equal to that amount. You can call it as principal. This amount we can call as principal plus, this part is interesting, bank rate into 3. That's the current punishment. So RBI says, beta, this is the punishment rate. But since you are torturing somebody called MSME, which is already vulnerable, so for you the punishment is bank rate into 3. So initial idea of the RBI was just put bank rate, but these MSMEs started saying, bank rate 7%. Oh, bank rate 7%, okay. So then RBI said, now the rate of interest we are prescribing is this into 3 as punishment rate. Because Government of India consults RBI whenever we have to use a particular rate which is declared by RBI. So Government of India consulted and said, is this okay? Because despite having bank rate, everybody is violating the rule. So then RBI said, multiply it by 3. Increase the punishment to 3rd degree. So now the punishment has become this, which means how much money do you have to return now? This came in the newspaper 4 months back. So how much punishment are you going to give under this? 100 plus 21, 121. Now this becomes heavy. When this is so heavy, we have taken 100 as principal, it looks nothing. Imagine 1 crore rupees which you have to pay to this guy. 1 crore ka 21%. Now that looks very heavy. 21 lakh rupees as punishment. That's heavy. Why would I like that? So I'll say take your money please. I don't want to pay you anything. So please write equal to, total payment is equal to principal. Total payment is equal to principal plus bank rate into 3. Bank rate into 3. This will be asked in prelims. which rate is used, and they will say multiplied by what. So bank rate into 3. What is other way of asking this question? The difficult way. If I want to confuse somebody and ask the same question in prelims, and I want to confuse every candidate in UPSC, what will I do? I will say this. Listen to it carefully. I'll dictate this also. That which of the following is the punishment which is given under Samadhan scheme? And then I will write point number A, principal plus 3 into bank rate. Second option will be principal plus bank rate. C will be principal plus 3 into marginal standing facility rate. And then I will say how many of these are correct? How many of these are correct? Which two? A and C. Obviously, you are experts now. You are champs. Obviously correct. Because I told you that currently in India, bank rate is equal to marginal standing facility rate. So if I have to confuse somebody, I will write this. But if I don't have to confuse, then what will I do? I will ask a simple question and say bank rate. Why? Because since very long, government of India used to consider bank rate as something. Bank rate as a punishment rate. But then RBI said, chalo, theek hai. So what we have done is, we have made 3 into marginal standing and this to be equal. Write a note, please. Please write. Currently, correct. RBI has equalized BR and MSF, bank rate and MSF. We will study bank rate and MSF, don't worry, I will just write it, bank rate and MSF. Hence, the following formula can also be considered correct. Hence, the following formula can also be considered correct. Please write the following formula. What formula will you write? Total payment is equal to. Please write the formula. Total payment is equal to principal plus 3 into MSF. Hey, see, this is a good side. What is the bad side? There is a bad side as well, which the government itself found out. What is the bad side? I'll tell you. This side is very bad actually. So what happened is, because of this, all these buyers, listen to it carefully, bacho, because this might be slightly odd for you to understand that, oh, can this really happen? Yeah, this is happening, I'll tell you what. So this person is a buyer of the product of MSMEs. So now this person used to take a lot of products from him, and this person used to return the payment in 60 days, 90 days, or sometimes 100 days. But 3-4 months, this person used to return the money. At least this company is able to sell the product. But now what this person is doing is, he's saying, I have 2 choices. Either I buy the product from this guy, and if I don't make the payment in 45 days, then I'll be served with severe punishment of bank rate into 3. He says, but I know that the economy currently is under slowdown phase. Why? Global market is slow, Indian market is slow, automobile is not being sold. Remember, so many problems are there. So he says that I don't want to buy from this guy. Now I will call Tatas, and I will tell Tatas, can you sell me this pen? Because if Tatas sell me the pen, I will sign a contract with Tata. Tata is a big player. That, hey, Mr. Tata, sorry, I won't be able to make the payment in 6 months. What will Tatas do? Tata will say, okay, if you can't make the payment in 6 months, then pay me 100 plus little bit of rate of interest, because there is delay in the payment. So what will Tata charge? So Tata will tell me that if today you use 100 rupees and put it in a bank, how much will you get? 4%, 6%, 5%. Think I'm ready to give you 5%. So I will tell Tatas that, Tatas, I have to return your money, but sir, I can't pay your money immediately. I will return the money in how many days? I'll return the money in 6 months, sir. So this 100 rupees plus, when you deposit money in a fixed deposit these days, guys, when you deposit your money, put your money in a fixed deposit in a bank, how much are you getting? 6%, 7%? 7%. So I will tell Tatas that, sir, if you give this money to a bank, bank will give you 7%. I am ready to give you 7%. So I will return 100 rupees to you with 7% extra. Please allow me 6 months. Tata will happily do it. Because Tatas are getting 2 things. One, Tatas are able to sell the product. And number 2, they are getting rate of interest also. It's a win-win situation for both Tatas as well as this guy. So what is happening now? What has happened is, the buyers of the MSME, now they are saying, I will not go to MSME. Same thing which I am buying from MSME, these people were buying pen from small companies. Now they are buying pen from big companies. And they are saying big companies are fine. So what is happening to MSMEs? Business loss. So what has the MSMEs done now in India? All the MSMEs went together, they created a lobby, they went to the government, central government and said, scrap the scheme. We don't want Samadhan. Because Samadhan is more torture than the solution. So are you understanding what has just happened? Which means when the government designed the scheme, the government didn't think through that what will be the repercussion of this. The repercussion of this scheme is, this buyer says, I don't want to buy from you because I have to pay bank rate into 3. Or marginal standing facility rate, say, into 3, which means 7 into 3. But when this guy goes to Tata's and he buys the pen from Tata's, and if he makes a delayed payment, Tata says, I'm ready to take only bank rate from you. Punishment rate will be bank rate for me only, I'm fine with it. Because Tatas are big, they can absorb this. That's the business loss that has happened. So what has the government of India done? So far nothing. Government of India is saying that we are re-examining. I said there is one good thing and bad thing about the government, I'll tell you. And please try to understand the emotions behind it. So whenever government of India declares a scheme, if you tell the government and go to the government and say that this scheme is very bad, please roll it back. 99% of the time, they won't roll it back immediately. Why? Because if they roll it back, 2 things will happen. First of all, there might be an international and national reaction that the government acts in haste. And number 2, sometimes the government wants to create a policy after which only they will remove something and substitute it with something better. So the governments act slow, not because they are very slow and lazy by nature. They act slow because whatever they decide, it sends signals in the market, international market and domestic market, and people create perceptions. And when I teach you capital market, you will realize that anything which the government declares and takes back, it has a negative effect on share market, and the value of the companies, the shares starts to go down, and huge losses are incurred in the market. That's why I told you that when I teach you share market, you will see a totally different world. So when the government announces this scheme and says tomorrow that sorry, I made a mistake, sorry, immediately stock market will crash and lakhs and crores of money will be wasted. I'll teach you capital market and then tell you how that happens. So whenever government of India makes an announcement that this is the punishment, even if there is loophole, they'll take time. They will very gradually remove it one by one and they will replace it with something else. Unless they find the replacement, they won't touch this. So when government does that, don't feel that government is bad, government is good, because tomorrow you will be the government. And when something wrong happens, society will blame you. Society will tell you, beta, why are you so slow? Why are you so lazy? You created a bad policy, remove it. And then you will understand that you can't do that. You need time to do it because you need to substitute it with something better. So see, public reaction is different and the way governments behave will be slightly different because governments know every action, every word they use is going to have repercussions. So when you attend a UPSC class and you prepare for this exam, you ought to think from both the sides, from the sides of the public and from the side of the government as well. That's so special about this kind of program. Achha, imagine that suppose we are having an MBA class here. Which side are we going to think through? Only the market side. We are not bothered why government is thinking, what government is thinking. We will criticize the government. Say, you are so slow, you destroyed the business, you are against the business. What kind of governance is this? Because I'm only bothered about profit. I don't care what you are doing. And the worst argument that a business can make is, I'm paying taxes, what are you doing? So everybody is paying taxes. How can government ignore the society? Government has to take care of everyone. So when you prepare for UPSC, you look at both the sides. Now please write. Okay? Note, NOT, note. Because of Samadhan, many buyers have started to substitute the MSME suppliers with large industries to avoid punishment in the form of high penalty. Done. Please put a full stop, guys. Now, there is one more point which I told you that it can be complicated. So, if you have to write this answer in the exam, if you write it this much, it's great. But there is one extra point which came in the newspaper almost 2 months back. If you're reading newspaper, you would have found that point. That point is related to taxation. So, what is happening is, so I'm not going to dictate that to you today because when I teach taxation, there I'm going to cover it exhaustively. But I want you to understand this point today without writing, so that when we do taxation, I will bring. There I will tell you that do you remember this example, and I'll ask you to open your notes, and there I will teach you technically how taxation principle is also used to punish him. But today I just want to give you an idea, a brief overview of how taxation policy is being used by government of India to torture this guy if he does not return the money of the MSMEs. Look at this, please. Now see, to explain this, I have this picture for you. This is MSME. ध्यान से देखिए बच्चों. This is MSME and this is Mahindra and Mahindra. This out of court settlement can always happen. Mahindra and Mahindra. And see what is happening now. Mahindra and Mahindra manufactures cars. Now this guy MSME sells steel. So suppose the price of the steel which MSME is selling to Mahindra and Mahindra, I'll be a little slow in explaining this so that you understand. If you want to draw a picture in the end, you can draw it. But dictation and proper teaching of this, technical teaching of this will happen when I teach you GST. Actually, I'm teaching you GST because without this, I won't be able to explain what came in the newspaper. But proper teaching will happen in GST because GST itself will take so many lectures. But today I want to give you a feel of what government is doing. So this guy, guys, Mahindra and Mahindra owner buys steel from MSME. Price of the steel is 100 rupees. Look carefully. Now government of India puts a 10% GST. Government of India puts a 10% GST over it, which means the total money that he has to pay, this guy has to pay to him is 110. So 110 rupees should come here. This is the funda. Are you able to understand this point? This guy will keep 100 rupees in his pocket and the remaining 10 rupees he gives to the government of India. That's your GST. So when he buys a steel, he pays 100 plus GST to him. 10 rupees goes there. Now this person sells his car. Achha, where does he use the steel? He uses the steel to manufacture this car. So now what he does is, he sells his car at certain amount to the customers. Suppose the price of the car is 200 rupees. Price of the car 200 rupees. Now example, what he does is, when he sells car to him, he is the customer. This guy collects 10% GST. So if you collect 10%, so Mahindra and Mahindra is selling the car to the customer, price of the car 200 rupees. Easy. So I'm taking the GST rate to be same for ease of calculation. So 10% is the GST which the customer has to pay him. So 200 rupees for the customer plus GST. So 10% of 200 is 20. So how much money will the customer pay to this guy? Rupees 220. All fine. Is it okay? Is it fine? It's very simple. Is it fine? Cool. Now the rule in India is that this guy, he tells the government of India that government, I have collected 20 rupees as GST from him. See, this is 20 rupees from him. So this 10% of GST is 20 rupees. He said, I have collected 20 rupees, which I must give it to you. But I am a businessman. I I have already paid 10 rupees GST, this GST. He says, I have already paid this GST here to you on the steel. So on the steel, this steel, he says he has already paid 10 rupees GST to the government indirectly. So he says, since I have used the same steel in the car, why should I pay 20 rupees on this? I have already paid 10 rupees to you on the steel. Same steel is being used here. So he says, why should I pay the GST twice? So he says, since I have collected 20 rupees, but I have already paid 10 rupees to you, what I am going to do now is 20 minus 10 is equal to 10. So I will pay only 10 rupees to you. So in total, how much GST is collected by the government of India? 10 rupees from here, 10 rupees from here, 20 rupees. How much GST is paid by the customer? 20. So whatever the customer paid, it goes to the government. Equation solved. What is the rule of GST? Remember the rule of GST. The rule of GST, I'm not using technical terms today, so I'm avoiding a few terms, but I'm telling you a story. The rule of GST, always remember, when I teach you GST, then I tell you the technical terms. The rule of GST is, whatever the final consumer pays, that much money should reach the government in total. So what is the tax paid or GST paid by the final consumer? 20 rupees. So through our calculation, we have just proved that if this guy pays 10 rupees from here, but he collects 20 rupees from here, he should pay only 10 to the government now. So total that the government gets is 10 from here, 10 from here, 20. He collects 20, 20 reaches the government, simple. But if this guy would have paid entire 20 to the government, then government would have received 10 plus 20, 30, which is incorrect. Because society paid 20, how can the government get 30? It doesn't make sense. That's the rule of GST. Now, government of India has said in the new rule that if this is your MSME, and you, mister, you are buying steel from here, and you are selling your car here, ideally, you are supposed to make this payment 100 plus 10, 110 here, but suppose you don't make the payment. It's been 45 days. Exactly on the 46th day, the government of India says, I will come to you, because you can apply for these kind of things as a business only in 3 months. So every 3 months, you do this kind of calculation in your business and tell the government that government, it's been 3 months, I have sold the car, I have received this money, I am going to make the payment to you. And what is the duration of this kind of thing? The duration of this kind of behavior is 45 days, which is within 45 days, he is supposed to make the payment. 45 days means 1.5 months. So after 1.5 months, if this guy does not make the payment of 110 rupees to him, and then after 3 months, he tells the government that government, I have already paid 110 rupees, I'm just going to pay 10 to you. Government says, hold on. You can't, because I know that you haven't paid 110 rupees to him, because you haven't paid it, MSME. And your invoice from here has been uploaded on Samadhan. So I know that you haven't paid the money. So you, mister, since you have received 20 rupees by selling, if you have, this entire 20 rupees you have to submit. He says, I'll do that. So he submits 20 rupees to the government. And then he says, I am ready to face the punishment. I am ready to return his money. And what is the money that he has to return to him? What is the price of the steel? 100. So he says, I am ready to give 100 plus bank rate into 3. He says, I am ready to give. And government of India says that, yeah, and please add 10 rupees GST also. He says, what? I have already paid 20 rupees GST. Government says, punishment. Now you have paid GST 20, add something from your side. This GST also you have to pay. That's the new rule. So are you understanding what is happening now? So if somebody will ask you now, because now this is the current affairs part, it came very recently. So what is the government? Government has made changes in the taxation rules, income tax rule change, GST rule change because of this. So government is saying, beta, first punishment for you is bank rate into 3. The second punishment for you is that whenever you collect GST, this entire amount you pass to the government, plus you also pay GST to him, he will give it to me. This is what you have to do. So what is the total punishment? If you have to write the net punishment, according to new rule, we should not use the word punishment, penalty. Principal, 3 into bank rate, plus, what is a good way of writing this? Plus, no GST input claim. This is the technical term. No GST input claim for you. Which means, what is GST input claim? If somebody will ask you, beta, explain GST input claim, so you will say that this guy, Mahindra & Mahindra, is using steel as an input. On this steel, what is this guy doing? See, I have been extremely slow in this. What is this guy doing? On the steel which he is using as an input, this guy says that I will pay my GST here, but when society gives me GST, 20 rupees, I will subtract this amount, 10 rupees. He says, I'm giving 10 to him, I'll subtract it. This subtraction of 10 rupees, see, what have we done? Subtracted 10. This 10 rupees which you have subtracted is called as input tax credit. It has a name. This 10 rupees which you have subtracted is called as input tax credit, ITC. Which means, for you, as a punishment, no input tax credit. You can't. Which means you have to pay this entire 20 rupees to the government, and you also have to pay 10 rupees from here to the government. 30 rupees has to be paid. You can't claim any tax credit. No benefits for you. This is the punishment. Second punishment. This is not explained in the newspaper, okay? I told you this is complicated. But see, guys, if I don't teach you like this, and if we miss all the technical terms, like I don't tell you this is input tax credit, we don't explain it like this, and suppose a question is asked in UPSC in prelims, or they tell you explain Samadhan, how will you write it? And if these things are missing in your answer, they will not give you marks. Because for UPSC, there are 2 things in your syllabus. First, entire MSME is in your syllabus, entire GST is in your syllabus. And I can tell you one thing, that the level at which they expect you to know GST is almost like a chartered accountant. They want you to know almost everything related to GST other than filing the tax returns. You just don't need to know how to file the tax returns. Other than that, they want you to know everything. In fact, there are a few things which you will know. Maybe a chartered accountant does not know because they are following it, they are implementing it, but they are not studying the theory maybe. But you will have to study when that theory part, why, how much, these things you will have to study. So GST has to be really deep when you prepare for it. This is the glimpse of it. At this level, we will have to study. So be friends with GST, I'm telling you. But one thing I can do for you, when I teach you GST, I'm ready to explain it multiple times. That's not an issue. Because I know you don't have an economics background. So that won't be an issue for you. But in the class, when I explain the story, you have to listen to it very carefully. That day, if you have a problem, at the end of the lecture, if you let me know, sir, I'm confused, I'll repeat it again. Entire thing I'll repeat. But the next day when you come, you should come prepared with revision. Because if I keep on explaining and you don't revise, you will not be able to learn. I'm telling you this. Imagine Neeraj Chopra's coach telling him how to throw the javelin. And then Neeraj Chopra said, thank you so much, you please throw it again. I'm watching you, sir, please throw. And his coach is throwing the javelin again and again. Neeraj Chopra is saying, yeah, well done, sir, great. Right? And after that, Neeraj Chopra does not throw the javelin by himself. Next day he comes and says, sir, I was not able to throw the javelin. Why? Because I didn't practice. Practice has to be done. I'll be your coach, but then you will have to be the Neeraj Chopra. Then together we'll win the medals. Is it okay? So this type of thing has to be done. So let me tell you the next part also. Don't be scared, it is simple. But next part will make you happy, also a little sad also. That why is the government doing this? Of the answer देखो. This is MSME. This is a businessman. Look at it carefully. This businessman is buying a laptop. What is the price of the laptop? 1 lakh rupees. Now, this businessman says that government of India, I need laptop because I'm a graphic designer. Because he has to use the laptop for his business purpose. Government says, take it, you use it, no problem. So when he buys the laptop from MSME, 1 lakh rupees, he pays a tax, let's say 18%. So how much total money this guy pays to him? Rupees 1 lakh plus 18,000. 1.18 lakhs. What does government of India do? Government of India says to this MSME, hey, you collected 18% from this guy, you please give that GST to me, 18%. This 18% goes to government of India. Is it okay? Now there is a rule in India. The rule is that this guy tells the government, since I'm using this laptop to give services called as graphic designing to the customers, because he says I'm not consuming the laptop, I'm using the laptop to give good kind of animated videos, etc. to the final consumer. He says I'm giving it to the consumer, which means I'm using the laptop for my business. It's like an input. So he says, government, please return this GST to me. Government says, what? Wait, what? He says, yeah, return the GST to me, because in the GST rules it is written that if you buy anything which you are using for your business, then you can claim the input tax credit by saying that I'm not using laptop for my own purpose, for my enjoyment, for watching movies, or for stalking somebody, for finding out somebody. I'm using laptop for business purpose. A government cannot come to your place and check why you are using the laptop. Are you understanding the loophole? I'm using this laptop for, as a cyber threat to everyone. I'm hacking everybody's portal through it. And when government of India comes to me and tells me, what are you doing? I'm saying, I'm doing ethical services for the society. What ethical service? Animated videos. And guess what government of India does to me? Government of India returns my 18% to me, which means this entire money that I gave comes back. Which means what is the effective price of laptop for me? 1 lakh. So when you buy the laptop, when I buy the laptop, since I don't have a business house, when we will buy a laptop, teacher and faculty will pay 1.18 lakhs. But when a businessman will buy it, that person will just pay 1 lakh rupees. So 18,000 rupees is huge discount. So similarly, when people buy mobile phones, if a businessman buys it, no tax. They pay the tax, government returns the money. But when a person who is not a businessman or business community, they buy it, entire money has to be given, which means you have to pay a tax as well. So government of India is saying, you mister, if you are buying this laptop from MSME and you are paying 1 lakh plus 18% to him, and if you don't make the payment in time, and your invoice is uploaded on the portal called as Samadhan, so then exactly after 45 days, we'll send you a notice, and this money will never be returned to you. Gone. Are you understanding this? These are the ways in which government of India is punishing. They go in the newspaper, they just, what newspaper said? Newspaper said that the new punishment for these people is no input tax credit, full stop, and that's it. Just one word was written, that if you don't make the payment to MSMEs, no input tax credit for you, full stop, over. But UPSC, you cannot write this. UPSC, you have to draw this diagram, you have to draw the previous picture, and then start explaining. So you tell me guys, whether you want to draw those pictures today and you want to have a small half an hour session or input tax credit, or you want to just write the input tax credit today and have that session with GST, totally your call. I have no problems. So when do you want to have it? Today only? But if you have it today, then exactly this thing and this diagram, I won't repeat, because then that will be a wastage of time. Even you understand. Because in future, I'll have to use the same example. So either you today write this, or in GST session, you have it in continuity. I feel that you should be having it in GST because today I taught you this, and again, if you imagine, again I'll teach you the same thing and then make you write, your concept will become super solid. Because in this explanation, you don't need to write all these things in the exam. There will be no space. So you can draw these diagrams today, but then in future I won't be able to do it again because that will be a wastage of your time, not mine. So I would suggest that today let's make notes, and in future I'll teach you the same thing again. Today I've already taught you. Videos available in your portal. If you want to repeatedly watch it, you can. But dictations I'm going to give you today. Explanation I'll do one more time when I teach you GST. So that if there is any problem in the concept, more clarity comes to you. Because these topics require clarity. If you ask me which are the two topics where you will require more clarity, I'll tell you. Because see, I'm also a student not from economics background. I was from a science background and then got into economics and studied these things. So whatever problems I faced during my studies, I know that almost similar problems you will be facing if you're not from the background. The first problem which I used to face almost a decade back used to be from taxation. Amazing problems I used to have. I used to have sleepless nights whenever I used to see the word, custom duties. I used to, why is it called duty? Which duty are we performing? Right? Imagine this word coming in front of a person who is not from economics background or commerce background. Duty. What duty? Why tax? What is cess? What is surcharge? Why can't you call everything as tax? Why do you put duty word over it? How do I understand what is this? And then in monetary policy, they used to teach me instruments of monetary policy. And if you have a science background, engineering background, you start to think which instrument? Where is the gadget? Where is the voltmeter? Where is the multimeter? What is this? Why are you borrowing this word from science as instrument? So for a very long time during my studies of economics, I used to wonder what instruments are this talking. So there are two topics. One is banking, where we get a lot of confusion, like process of credit creation, high origin money, very confusing. So that's number one. Number two, GST, no idea. Even best of chartered accountants get confusing GST with GST. So GST is very confusing because even government does not know. One of the problems, because if they knew, why would that episode happen which happened recently, that price of the burger is different, the bun is different, the cream is different, when you combine it, the GST is higher, right? So it's amazing. So obviously somebody is making a mistake somewhere. So guys, two topics, one is GST and second is monetary policy. There you need to have a solid command. And there is a third topic where I feel more clarity is required, which is inflation. And connected to inflation, there is a topic called as balance of payments, which means dollar into rupee, rupee into dollar, money coming in, money going out. What is the impact? If dollar comes to my country, what is the impact on inflation? What is the impact on rupee? Why is RBI happy or RBI unhappy? What are the impacts on our traders? Will our traders be happy or unhappy if dollar comes? This kind of complicated structure, it requires layer by layer understanding. So when I teach you inflation, balance of payment, GST, as well as monetary policy, you will see that we'll spend little more time. And when I teach you other topics like this we can sail through easily. These are smooth. But when we enter those topics, the speed will slow down. Lecture will slow down, speed will slow down, content will be very to the point, but I will repeat everything twice, thrice, four times, whatever is required. Approach will be different. Okay, come back, please write. So if you want to revise it, आप देख लेना, rewind the video, rewind करके you please watch, please write. Note, note. In 2024, please write बच्चों, in 2024, to my online students, all okay? In 2024, thank you. In 2024, the government introduced a new penalty. The government introduced a new penalty for delayed payments. New penalty for delayed payments. That is, the input tax credit cannot be claimed by the buyer in case of delay in payment. Hence, the overall penalty is equal to principal plus 3 into bank rate plus no GST input claim. In the bracket, no ITC, no input tax credit. No ITC, no input tax credit. Done? No input tax credit. Okay? Cool. Now have a look at this. Sambandh. Very crucial. So please have a look at the board and please explain to me whatever you are able to understand from here. While drawing, only try to understand what this is. This is called as Sambandh. So this talks about the relationship between Government of India and MSME. Absolutely. What is GEM? Very good, Pawan. Nice, good answer. Online, very good. What is GEM? Government e-marketplace. Very good, Manu. So GEM is equal to is a portal. Yes, SM, absolutely correct. It's a portal by Government of India. Called as Government e-marketplace. Are you learning something, guys? That picture is worth 1,000 words. You should draw diagrams wherever possible. It makes our life easy. It helps the examiner or evaluator to understand that you know the concept well. So you should always draw these small diagrams wherever possible. I'll explain, don't worry. Done? Cool. Now see guys, there are 2-3 things that you have to understand here. Number one, the Government of India has decided that whatever support they can provide to I'm coming out of the frame, guys, okay? Let me see what you have written. Yes, Varun, absolutely correct. Good explanation. So I'm coming out of the frame so that you can have a good view of the board, okay? So guys, see, the Government of India has decided to provide help to MSMEs in every possible manner. In India, we follow a system of positive discrimination. if we feel that somebody is in a great disadvantaged situation, the government of India said that I will give you a push to some extent. And later on, when you become strong, then that push is not required. So for this scheme, the government of India has said that government of India has discovered one big problem in the government departments. What is the big problem? I'll give an example. So suppose guys that you become an IS officer and you have to purchase furniture or chairs for your office. How many chairs do you need to purchase? Let's say 100 chairs for your entire office. Now to purchase a chair, you start to look for chair suppliers. What is the price of one chair? Let's say price of one chair is 500 rupees. 1000 kar leta, it's easy. So let's say that you have to buy 100 chairs, and what is the price of each chair? 1000 rupees that you find in the market. And then you have decided I'll buy all the chairs, so 1000 into 100 is 10,000. So you decide that I'll do all these things. Oh, 1 lakh. 1 lakh you decide to spend in buying the chairs. And then what happens? All of a sudden you get a call from me. I'll call you and tell you, do you remember I'm your faculty who used to torture you? 2 घंटे बोल के 4 घंटे. You will say yes, how can you forget? You remember the torture you gave us. Right? So what will I do? I tell you, beta, I have started to sell chairs now. Then you tell me, no, but you were a street vendor. How come you started to sell chairs? I said, no, I have changed my business now. I'm selling chairs these days. You will ask me, what is the price of your chair, sir? So I'll say the price of my chair is 1500 rupees per chair. So total 1.5 lakhs. So you will tell me, no, sir, but I'm getting a chair in 1000 rupees only. I'll say, come on, I'm your faculty. And plus, I have my own business. So why don't you want to promote my business? Come on. There are so many people working in my factory, they'll be unemployed. So please purchase the chair for the sake of humanity. I start to make all the emotional arguments in front of you. I'll make you emotional because you are emotional kids. So what will you do? You'll say, "Theek hai, faculty is saying it's okay. Right? He tortured us, so what?" Right? So you buy the chair from me for 1500 rupees. Tomorrow vigilance comes and says, "Beta, why did you buy the chair?" Because they will have hisab kitab, they will have all the audits. So audit authorities will come and they will ask you, "Beta, why did you pay 1500 rupees?" You will say, "Because the price was that, quality was this." They will tell you, "No, but the same quality is available for 1000 rupees. Why did you pay that?" You will say, "Because chair was good." They will say, "No, same chair for 1000 rupees. Why did you pay 1500 rupees? Did you put the money in your pocket?" Even if you were not corrupt, even if you did not put the money in your pocket, you did it out of your own goodness because you wanted to help me. But see what has happened now. Now it has backfired. Scanner of the suspended. Because what will government think? Government will think 1000, but you have 500 extra, and that 500 extra that you paid to somebody, from that you are putting 400 giving to others, which means you are corrupt officer, even though you are not corrupt officer. So now this has created a problem. So government of India realized that genuinely also there are problems like this. Sometimes corruption cases are there, but sometimes genuine problems also there. So government of India said, I don't want to get into all this mess and confusion because sometimes people are genuine, they get caught. Sometimes people are corrupt, they are not caught. So government said, let me create another system of government procurement. What is that system? Government created a portal called as Government E-Marketplace. Just like you have Amazon and Flipkart, there is an app by the government called as E-Marketplace, GEM. That's your app. This circle is your app. Now what has the government said? Government said, if anybody in India wants to sell anything to the government of India, the seller has to register on this portal. So I'm your faculty, I'm the producer of the chair, I have to register on this portal. I have to create a seller's account and put all my details, and then I have to put the picture of my chair and put a price. Similarly, if Mr. Tata wants to sell the chair, he's a big player, he can also register here. It's open platform. The moment everybody is putting their names here, the government of India says, there is a rule now. Every ministry and department of the government of India, it's mandatory that whenever they have to purchase or procure any item, 1/4 of the item. So for example, you are IS officer, you are purchasing 100 chairs. So 25 chairs, it is compulsory that you buy from MSMEs. But which MSMEs will you select? There is also a condition there. So the condition is out of the 25. So let's say you are buying 100 chairs. 100 chair, 25 chair from here, 75 chair you can purchase from any source. Which means let's say Mr. Tata is also selling the chair. You can buy remaining 75 from Mr. Tata. But minimum 25 chair you have to buy from MSMEs. Can you buy entire chair from MSMEs? Yes. Only minimum is prescribed. Minimum 25 chair from MSMEs, 75 from anybody. But that doesn't mean that you can't buy 100 from here. You can buy entire 100 from here to promote them. So let's look at the calculation of 25. So out of 100 chairs, you have to buy 25 from MSME. This 25 can be split into 3 parts. It is compulsory that this 25 chair which you are buying from, procurement is purchased. This 25 chair that you are buying from this MSME, out of this 25, 4 chairs you must buy from those MSMEs which are owned by SCs, STs. This is compulsory. 3 chairs you have to buy from MSMEs which is owned by women. And remaining 18 chairs you have to buy from any MSME, doesn't really matter. All these are minimum figures. Minimum 4 from here, minimum 3 from here. But if your mind says, no, I want to make it 5, you want to make it 6, it's okay. But minimum 4%, minimum 3%, 18 from anybody. These are minimum numbers. So 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 18, 25. Now on this portal, the government of India says that this 4% and 3%, so for example here, government of India says on this bigger portal, I'm going to dedicate a small space here where SCs, STs, owned MSMEs can display their product so that it becomes easy for the government to directly pick. And then government says, I'm also going to dedicate a small section which they have for women-led MSMEs. So if you go on that portal, you'll see a section where they are saying that all the women-led MSMEs, you please register and upload the images in this section. So that when government has to procure, it becomes so easy for the government to say, Acha, from here I can easily procure. There is a specific name of this section where women-led MSMEs upload their products. The name of that section is Womania. Like, I won't sing a song, don't worry. What has happened to government of India? Why can't they give a better name to it? I feel so embarrassed to tell you this. Full embarrassment. I was avoiding it. I mean, I wish I didn't have to teach this part. I wish they had got a good name. They could have called it as a star women platform or something. God knows why this. Or somebody is getting truly impacted by Anurag Basu. Kashyap. Till date, I don't understand the difference between these two people. Vasu and Kashyap, who are these people? Somebody gave this song, etc. I think Bollywood inspired somebody. Like, must be one IS officer truly inspired by Bollywood putting this name. So that section on the GEM portal where the women-led enterprises, they put their products is called as Romania. That's your only thing. So you can connect it with this. And the remaining 75%, this 75%, you can purchase from anybody. So this 25 is split into 3 parts, 4, 3, 18. But remember one thing, you have to be smart in this. Minimum. Minimum at least you have to buy 4 chairs from these. 5 billion, it's okay. So 4, 3, 18. But suppose instead of 4 you buy 5 chairs from here, 6 from here. 6 plus 5, 11. 11 already bought. Then from others you can buy 7. That's it. Total 25. Please write. That the government procurement, I'll take your questions. The government procurement has been designed to promote. The government procurement has been designed to promote MSME suppliers. Precisely speaking, it is mandatory that 25% of government procurement, 25% of government procurement must be done from MSMEs. Out of 25%, please put a dash. Minimum 4% for SC/ST led MSMEs. Minimum 4% for SC/ST led MSMEs. Number 2, minimum 3% for women led MSMEs. 3% for women led MSMEs. In the bracket, please write Womenia. Write it. Close the bracket. Third, please write 18% from any other MSME. 18% from any other MSME. So guys, what is the total that you have to procure from MSME? 25. So in UPSC, if they give you some numbers, number if they give you the number that total 25% you should memorize, and then you should split the 25 into 3 parts. You will get your answer. Please say the paragraph and please write. 25. At least 25, obviously, because I told you that they can buy 100 also from here. But 25% is mandatory. Because we have used the word mandatory, no. So hence we have not used the word at least. Mandatory, but yes, it's at least. Change the paragraph, please, and write. The remaining 75% can be procured from any supplier. Yes, Shashank, correct. From any supplier. The remaining 75% can be procured from any supplier. Please put a full stop, guys. Yes, Rajan, I'll answer your question, but let's complete this part. Please write this, please note it down exactly like this. Please note it down. It is called PM Employment Guarantee Program, PMEGP. Can I tell you something interesting about this? This scheme is 2008 and 9, but this scheme has been given in this year's budget. So obviously we'll have to do this. Yes, oh, you have read the budget. Good. Note it down, please. It is given in every year's budget. Some updates have happened and government is promoting this scheme like anything. And guys, whenever you study scheme, if you create a diagram, very clean and neat diagram like this, the scheme itself reveals all the components. Because anybody who sees this will understand that this is what is happening. There are 2 blank places which we are going to fill through the story approach. So please draw the scheme exactly in this fashion, rural, urban, etc. That is called as Pradhan Mantri Employment Guarantee Program, 2008 and 9. And if I am not teaching you some portions of budget or economic survey, that means it is not relevant for next year's exam. Because the budget and survey that we got this year, it was fully relevant for mains. And in the mains batch, whatever mains batch I took, I taught it entirely and questions came from there. But for your batch next year, this entire budget and survey is not important. A portion of it is important. Remaining things next year, February budget. So whatever is important, I'm going to teach you that. Like this is important. To my online students, have you done? Complete. Wow, very nice speed. Sujeta, good. Correct statement. Okay, cool. Let me explain this point. I'll tell you the background of the scheme. In 30 seconds, you'll understand what this is, and this will become a very short, like 1 minute discussion. See what? Do you know that global financial crisis came 2008? Yes, it was a time of global financial crisis, which means some problem happened in the Western countries, America. That problem traveled to Europe. When I teach you finance, when I teach you capital market, I'll give you that example. Some problem happened in USA. Because it is globalized world, so problem also travels. So problem traveled to Europe because Europe is best friend of US, and India is best friends with everyone, including Italy. So from Europe, the problem came to India. Right? So now when the problem came to India, the government of India got very disturbed. Government of India realized, wow, there is a problem. Because all the companies and the factories who were operating in India at that time, they got so negatively impacted that they started to reduce their business. And they started to say, no, we can't operate, sorry, there is problem, there is no money, we can't generate employment, we can't produce output. Why? Because all the companies of India who were in the business of exports shut down. because the global situation was not good. What can we do in terms of export? At that time, Government of India realized that, boss, we need to do something so that new employment opportunities can be created. So Government of India said, I will design a scheme to create new employment opportunities. Everybody was laughing at the government. Everybody said, this is crisis time and you are saying, I will create opportunities. Government said, I will not create opportunities, but I give you guarantee that I will create opportunities. Everybody said, oh, this is good. Because government is giving guarantee during crisis that they will do something good for the society. Mind you, what did the government say? I give you a guarantee, the details are hidden here. I give you a guarantee that I'm going to create employment or new employment opportunities. New employment opportunities, which means this scheme which was designed by the government is not applicable to existing businesses. It is only meant for you if you are starting a business in the year 2008. Why? Because Government of India realized those who are already in business, there are so many schemes for them and they have become conservative that no, this crisis time I can't do it. So guys, that is why I keep telling you guys in the class that if you come to me with a very clean mind and clean slate, I can draw pictures over there. I can teach you so many things. But if you come to me like this, where it is already filled, what will I draw? So Government of India said that if you are already having a business and you have already become conservative, that no, global situation is not good, so I can't do the business. Government said, okay, for you, different support. Because first I have to motivate you. Because you are not ready to accept that things can be done even in difficult times. But if you want to start something during crisis, government said, first I will help you. Because you are having the courage to do it. For those people, this scheme was launched. And through this, government wanted two things: to promote business and to create new employment opportunities so that economy doesn't suffer for too long during crisis. This was the idea. That is why the word guarantee. Because no government in the world uses guarantee. And if they use guarantee, then people start to demand it by saying that, is it a legal guarantee? So here Government of India used the word guarantee without legalizing it. Government said guarantee means emotional support is there. That guaranteed I will help you. Right. So see what is the scheme. So here the scheme is Government of India said that I'm going to promote both manufacturing and services. That's number one. That's a good thing. You should write it. Through this scheme, what is the government doing? Eligible projects, both manufacturing and services. Number two, the Government of India said that this scheme will be applicable only for new projects. You write it please. Next point, new projects. Only new projects, which means old companies, etc. cannot take the advantage of this. For them, different schemes. Only new schemes. Next, what is the help which the Government of India is giving? If you want to start a business of manufacturing or services, what help will the Government of India provide you? See, maximum cost of the project allowed. Which means if you go to the, because this is crisis time, 2008 time, crisis time. So Government of India said at that time that if you come to me and if you make a proposal to me that you want to open a factory to manufacture the pen, but the total cost of establishing your factory should not be very high, because then you are not MSME, then you are big. But this scheme is meant for MSME. So Government of India put a restriction. They said we don't have too much money, sorry. So in those days the restriction was 25 lakhs. In 2008 scheme, the restriction was 25 lakhs. Your project cost for manufacturing cannot be more than 25 lakhs. If you take a proposal of more than 25, government says, sorry, that we can't provide. But I said, yeah, we don't have money. Because this is crisis time. But what has happened in the current budget? It actually didn't happen in the budget. After the budget, few days of the budget, government changed the amount to 50. In the economic survey, they have mentioned 25 only. But in the recently past few weeks, the Government of India has changed it and made it 50 and said 50 is fixed now. So now it has been doubled because government says thoda projects will also be allowed. And for services, this is 10 lakhs initially. Initially it was 10 lakhs, currently it is 20 lakhs. So this part is old. You can write old. But currently it has been updated. So now it is 20 lakhs, 50 and 20. Now Government of India says that if you go to the government, look at it carefully, Bacho. If you go to the government and say that government, I have to establish manufacturing and the total project cost is 50 lakh rupees. Listen to it carefully, Bacho. Total cost of the project is 50 lakh rupees. I have to establish a factory in which area? Let's say I have to establish a factory in a plain area. Not hilly area, not northeast, not hilly area, but plain, not tribal area, but plain area. Plain area has two types, urban and rural. So Government of India says general area means plain area, geographically plain area. So if you want to establish this factory in rural India, then 25% of this money, 25% of this will be given to you as subsidy. So 25% of this as, subsidy, which means remaining 75% will be given to you as loan at low rate of interest without collateral. That's the rule. So 25% subsidy, but 75% of this will be given to you as loan at low rate of interest to be decided based on economic conditions, 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%. And remaining 75% will be given to you as loan at low rate of interest without any collateral. This system is there since long. But if you are opening your factory in urban India, then if the total investment required is 50 lakhs, 15% will be given to you as subsidy. Remaining 85% will be given to you as loan at low rate of interest. Why didn't I write that 85% etc. in the original diagram? Because I didn't want to make it chaotic. If you draw a diagram like this and you understand the story, that 25% subsidy, remaining part will be given to you as loan. So your diagram and memorization becomes easy. Now, if you are opening this factory in special area, which are special areas for the scheme, hilly areas, northeast areas, tribal areas, these are considered to be special areas. So Government of India says that if you are opening this in hilly areas, northeast or tribal areas, then government says if the total cost of the project is 50 lakhs, 35% will be given to you as subsidy in rural area and 65% as loan. If it is urban, 25% subsidy, 75% as loan. That's your project. But what are the conditions? The conditions is, if your project cost is more than 50 lakh, you are not eligible under this scheme, then you have other MSME schemes which I taught you. For example, credit guarantee scheme, credit link subsidy scheme, MSME champions, I taught you all the schemes. So if your requirement is more, if you go to credit guarantee scheme, which the government has created in this year's budget, up to 100 crore rupees you can take. That's a different scheme. But if your requirement is up to 50 lakh rupees, then you can come under this scheme. So parallelly, there are so many schemes running. Please write that PMEGP is applicable only for new projects. Only for new projects. Full stop. Both manufacturing and services are eligible. With a cap, CAP cap, on the total cost of the project. With a cap on the total cost of the project. Full stop. A part of the cost is provided as subsidy and remaining part as loan. Special areas like northeast, hilly areas, tribal areas get higher subsidy. Full stop. Rural areas get higher subsidy compared to urban areas. Acho, have a look at the board, please answer the question. To my online students, have a look at the board, please answer this question. This is how I have prepared your test questions. But here, please answer the question. A sample for you. None. Answer is none. What is the answer? Sorry. None. Okay, let's read them one by one. So, answer is none, okay? The first point says, consider the following statements. It considers both greenfield and brownfield. What is greenfield? New projects only. Greenfield means brand new, absolutely new projects from scratch. What is brownfield? Brownfield means value addition or extension in the old projects. That is called brownfield. I have a house with ground floor. I create a first floor. That's brownfield. So brownfield means old projects where renovation, etc., new addition has happened. So first point is wrong. It considers both greenfield and brownfield. No, it considers only greenfield. Second, only rural enterprises are considered. Only rural. Both rural and urban. And next is it only considers manufacturing projects, excludes services. Really? It includes both manufacturing and services, which means that all of them are wrong. What did you notice about this question? That whenever you prepare a scheme, you have to go deeper into it. And you have to understand things which are mentioned. You also have to understand things which are not explicitly mentioned sometimes. Just for example here. So one thing which I did not mention was greenfield and brownfield. I simply said only new projects. But I never talked about what about old projects in the sense of brownfield. Can you make some value changes in the old projects? Not allowed. I simply said new projects will be rewarded. Government says old projects are, sort of conservative, etc. But I didn't use the word greenfield and brownfield. But in the exam, it might happen that you might know the theory. It's just that it has been presented to you in a very sophisticated manner. At that time, you have to be ready to understand. That's why in the class when you are joining these kind of programs, what we will do is we will create all the things which are simple, and along with that, we will also create sophisticated things. So that simple things helps us to understand theory. Sophisticated things helps us to understand and answer questions in the exam. So this is important. Now, word play. That is called some. It's better to play with words than with emotions. So, legal greenfield and brownfield. Greenfield brownfield I told you. When? Okay. Data book I told you, greenfield means this, brownfield means. So check your data book. Today you didn't even open the data book. Again write if you have not written. Please, some people are saying you have not written. Check and please tell me. Then please write. It's okay, please write. So please write greenfield means. Yes, Sharu, definitely. Greenfield means starting a business from level 0. Starting a business from level 0. That is brand new business. Whereas brownfield means making value additions or modifications in the old business. But so what is greenfield infrastructure? Infrastructure which is brand new, which you just created. It never existed before. And what is the meaning of brownfield infrastructure? Brownfield infrastructure means that infrastructure which already exists, you have just made some changes in that, right? Look at the board, please. Whom do you see on the board? Good luck, champ. Right? Some people are saying I should not have brought this picture in the class, right? But now it is there, can't help it. So guys, you see, a picture is worth 1,000 words, as I always say this. So there is a simple story that we are going to do first. And as I told you that around 10:25, 10:30 we'll stop. Then I'll take all your doubts. I have seen so many, so I'll answer those questions. If you want me to repeat something, I'll speak something as a tip for your preparation for 5 minutes. Then I'll let you go. But first, we'll do this small part. We'll make a beginning today about what is the meaning of startups. I'll just give you an idea about the startups. Next lecture, we'll complete it. Next one on Monday. But tomorrow, we are meeting for the test. And in the test, I've already put a question related to the definition of the startup. So obviously, I have to teach this. So now let me tell you the definition of the startup. Now, see, guys, focus, please. Because this requires some value judgment. This requires some storytelling. So please be focused and alert. This guy, you understand that he started this chai business or tea business in India. When he started his business, he was doing really well. But over a period of time, he realized that the money that he's earning by selling tea kept on falling because people started to tell him, "Oh, please tell the answer." None. So what happened is, over a period of time, people got bored with the tea that he's selling, and people said, "Same taste, same preference. Your environment and the cafe is also very boring, etc., etc." So people stopped coming and they said, "No new innovation." Which means that if I serve you the same type of tea, thank you. If I serve you the same type of tea for years and years, you get bored, and then one day you stop coming. This happened to his business. So at that day, he decided that he wants to put some money and open a food lab. What do you do in a food lab? By the way, in the budget, the government has made proposal of food lab. So what did he do? He said, "I want to open a food lab where I'll travel across the world and bring new varieties of tea. I will mix and match and create some new aroma in India itself. Then I will sell that tea within my cafe. And I will export it also." Idea is good. But what is the problem? I told you that his revenue has been constant over a period of time, but his expenses are very high. Why? Because when he created his chai business, initially it was a new model, etc. So he had to hire a lot of celebrities to promote. He pays a lot of money to social media to promote my business, etc. So he earns 100 crore rupees. Every year he's earning 100 crore and he's spending 99 crore on advertisement. No money is left for research and innovation. So he got very disturbed that what do I do? How do I promote my business? How do I create a food lab? So he went to the government of India. And he said, "Government of India, can you provide some help?" Government said, "Beta, what help?" So he said, "Government, I need cash first of all at low rate of interest." Government says, "Okay, what else?" He said, "Then I also need to import some machines. So please talk to those countries and tell them to export machines of good quality and please you don't take any taxes on that." Government said, "Okay, what else?" He said, "Government of India, I also want that some big people in the society should invest in my company. I should get partners." Remember last lecture I was talking about partnerships. So he's saying to the government, "I need partners. Please help me to have partners. I want to sell little bit of shares or ownership of my company." So Government of India said, "That you can have." He said, "No, if I have it, you will put a tax over me. You will say, oh, you got money from somebody, tax." So he said, "Government of India, don't take any taxes from me. Please help me to procure items from outside India. Help me to create a food lab. Please help." Government of India said, "Beta, we'll provide you all this help. But why should we give you help? What does country get in return?" So he said, "What do you want?" So Government of India said, "I'm going to give you all the benefits. I'm going to give all the benefits to people like them. But why should I select you and not him? I can give the same benefit to him." He said, "Government, I can be an asset for this country." Government said, "How?" So he said, "I can increase India's GDP. I can create employment. I can increase export." He said, "I can do these things." Government of India said, "Hold on. Anybody who sells even a matchbox increases India's income. Because if you sell even a pen, a matchbox, that money that you collected by selling it becomes India's income. So what are you saying? That I will increase India's income? Obviously, if you sell one cup of tea, India's income will increase. But that's not good enough. Prove it that you will increase India's income by a very good amount." So he said, "I am telling you, trust me on this." Government said, "No, I will create a team. That team will examine that if we give help to you, are you going to return something potential? That country should help you. Because taxpayers' money will be given to you only when we feel you have the potential." He says, "Which body, which organization will judge that?" There's which organization? There's only one name which I taught you in the first lecture. DPIT. DPIT is that organization. So Government of India told him, "Beta, your entire file is going to DPIT. They will examine with their team of experts." He says, "Who are the experts?" Government said, "That we can't tell you. Why should we tell you that?" So he said, "No, but I have the right to know." Government said, "No, you don't have the right to know. For example, has anybody gone to RBI and Monetary Policy Committee and ever asked a question, give me the formula of repo rate? Why did you decide to keep repo rate or rate of interest as 6.9% or 5.9? Why not 5.85? Sometimes the rate of interest kept by RBI is 6%. Why not 5.9999%? Have you ever asked that question? No. Have you ever asked a Supreme Court judge what feelings came to his mind when he gave a judgment? Judge will only tell you based on the merit of the case, this is the judgment. Have you ever asked him that? You please come in front of another court and justify your decision. So DPIT says, "Why should I justify my decision? If my team of eminent personalities feel that you are good enough, we will give you support. If my team of eminent personality feels that you are not good enough, sorry, we can't give you support." He says, "Can I challenge you in the court of law?" So DPIT says, "No, because we are not hiding anything. They are telling you that we will judge and we will decide." Wow. Right? Are you understanding the problem now? Which means that they are keeping too much of power in their hand. So this power can be used, this power can also be misused. So the definition has two sides. So first I'll teach you the definition. I'll tell you what are the conditions of being a startup. When DPIT can call you a startup, then you already know the negative side of it. That if I am the government, you come to me and tell me, call me a startup. I am this guy. And if Government of India does not like me, they can immediately kick me out and say, you don't fit our requirements. And if I ask them a question that which requirement are you talking about, government will say, why should I tell you? Because I feel you don't fit. I'll say, come on, government, give me a formula. Government will say, everything does not have a formula. See, lack of transparency. But why does the government do that? Maybe in governance, sometimes you require this kind of control. We will see both the sides. Are you understanding what kind of topic you are entering? So it's not very clear-cut mentioned by the Government of India. There are grey areas which government has kept under its control and government says, I will decide. So as an IS officer, you should know it. Why? Because who will be the head of DPIT in future? Senior IS officers like you. And when you get into this body, society will criticize you. What are you doing? You are very opaque. You are not transparent. At that time, you need to smile and say, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Right? So I'll tell you both the sides. So your story starts from here. So please write. Define a startup. define a startup. Second question, please write. What are the eligibility conditions? What are the eligibility conditions to become a startup? What are the eligibility conditions to become a startup? What are the eligibility conditions to become a startup? Now I see. Have a look at the board, please. I'm just changing some part of the story for you. For example, the year of the launch of the company, etc. I'm making it suitable for our analysis. So suppose that this guy, MBA Chaiwala, he opened his company in 2020. Guys, focus on this, please. He opened his company in 2020. Now, when he opened his company, he went to the Government of India, which department? Ministry of Corporate Affairs. He went to Ministry of Corporate Affairs and he registered his company. Another word, technical word for registration is incorporation. So when you talk to a chartered accountant and tell them that I want to start a new company, immediately they will ask you, when do you want to incorporate your company? Which means they are basically asking you in simple words, when do you want to register your company with Ministry of Corporate Affairs? What is the name of that one-page form these days? Under ease of doing business, you can register your company or incorporate a company using one-page form. What is that one-page form called as? That one-page form is called as SPICE. SPICE. Can you believe it? This question was asked in UPSC 4 years back. Which of the following form is used to register a company? The name of that is SPICE. So see, that's why I keep on telling you stories, because in stories, all these things fit very well. So you go to this guy, went to a chartered accountant and said, hey, I want to register a company. Chartered accountant said, okay, fill this form called as SPICE. In this form, you put the name of the company, proposed name of the company. You also put the nature of your business, your address, your I-card, PAN card, Aadhaar card, everything is put. So this is called registration and incorporation 2020. The moment he did that, immediately he started selling tea. And between 2020 and 21, first year itself, his turnover, what is the meaning of turnover? When you sell one cup of tea for 10 rupees, that money that you get, 10 rupees is called turnover. Turnover means revenue. We saw it in MSME definition also, turnover and revenue. So he sold tea between this year, he got a revenue or turnover of how much is it? 1 crore. Now next year, 21 to 22, 100 crore. Why? It was a new business, it became instant hit. And then he realized that, wow, I'm earning so well. He immediately started to hire Bollywood stars and started to pay a lot of money to vloggers, etc., real gurus, promote my business, bring me for interviews, podcasts, etc. So between 22 to 23, for the first time, his revenue came down. Like, too much of gyan when you give on reels, etc. This is what happens. Work should be more, gyan should be less. 23 to 24, again it came back to roughly around 99 crores. He was not happy because he understood the problem. What is the problem? Stagnancy. Remember I told you, stagnancy in case of manufacturing industries in India. The contribution of manufacturing sector in India's national income is currently 17, normally 15 to 17. That's the stagnancy. Very good, you remember the data. So this is stagnancy, guys. And he was worried. Why? Whatever he is earning, from this, almost everything he is paying to Bollywood stars and social media influencers and telling them promote my business. So you have nothing left in your pocket for research and development. This is the condition which he faced. So exactly in the year 2024, he goes to DPIIT and says, DPIIT, help. DPIIT says, beta, why help? So he says, my revenue is good, but entire money is going in promotion. DPIIT says, don't promote. So he says, if I don't promote, nobody will come in my cafe. DPIIT said, that's also the point. Because if you're a new business, you have to do promotion. This is a competitive world. You can't be biased. So DPIIT says, I understand your problem, but boss, I'm going to give you country's money, fulfill some conditions, please. So what is the first question asked by DPIIT before giving the help? So the first question that DPIIT asks before DPIIT would help him, question number 1 is, you mister, what is the age of your company? So guys, have a look at the board and please tell me what is the age of this company? Age of the company is to my online students. See, normally you guys answer very fast. Abhi kaise slow? 4 years. Maybe internet is slow. Okay, good. Now I'm getting the answer. So 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. So the age of this company is 4 year. What is the rule? The rule is DPIIT will call you a startup only if your age does not exceed 10 years, which means up to 10 years, if your age of the company is up to 10 years, then DPIIT will say you are eligible to be called as a startup, condition 1 satisfied. Example, suppose guys, that this guy MBA Chaiwala, he established his company in the year 2012. Let's count the number of years. 2012, how many years? 12 years. So if he started his company in 2012, he goes to DPIIT in 2024, says, please call me a startup. DPIIT will say, beta, you are almost a decade old, more than a decade, 12 years, greater than 10, not eligible, out. So he says, where will I go? So Government of India tells him, Mudra Yojana, go to PMEGP, go to Credit Guarantee Scheme, go to MSME Champions. Because you are not big, obviously you are MSME. Go, you have so many schemes. He says, no, but I want to be called as a startup. Government says, no, beta, startup means starting. If you are more than 10 years old, how can you be a startup? Because the word is a start. You are already more than a decade old. You are experienced. So your age should not exceed 10 years. Which means if you want to be called as a startup in 2024, your company should not have started before this. Either you start your company in 2014 or after 2014. Then only you become eligible for a startup. And if you are not eligible for a startup, go to MSME, you get so many schemes there. That's condition number 1. So please write. The government launched Startup India scheme in 2015. DPIIT has laid down the following eligibility conditions for the startups. Number 1, the age of the startup should not exceed, the age of the startup should not exceed 10 years. 10 years. Number 2. Bacho, remember this guy? So MBA chai wala. Second question asked by DPIIT is, by the way, the first 3 conditions which I tell you, these are very good conditions. Because these 3 conditions can be established using some documents. But the other conditions which I tell you, they are value judgment based conditions. But first 3 conditions are very good conditions. Second condition is, don't write, I dictate. The government of India, DPIIT asked him that, beta, tell me something. Did your dad have a company called as some cafe? And did he split the company in 2 parts? He kept one part with him and he gifted you another part called MBA Chaiwala and you are claiming everywhere that this is my new company. So has it been gifted by your dad by splitting some old company? He said, come on, my dad is not into business. He was into service. My family never entered into business. I'm the first generation entrepreneur. So no, we didn't have a business. It was never split. Because if you split an old business and then you create something and say, this is my startup, Government of India does not accept it because Government of India says that the word is startup. How can you split old business and then start saying everywhere that it's a new business? Because the word is a start. You should have started it, not your mom and dad and your relatives. Because if already business exists and then you split it into 2 parts and then you say, hey, this part is mine, this is a startup. That's not a startup, that's continuation. So split is not allowed. Similarly, suppose your mom has a company, your dad has a company. They merge the company and they gift the company to you and you start to call it as MBA Chaiwala. Is that a startup? Of course it is not a startup. Why? The company already existed. And by definition, the word is a start. You have not started, you have not contributed anything, which means that split and mergers not allowed. So please write the second, absolutely. Please write, splits and mergers of old companies, splits and mergers of old companies are not covered under startup. Third condition. By the way, do you know how many startups are there in India currently which are functional? 1.42 lakhs. So you can memorize in your data book, please write. In the industry section itself, number of startups. Next year it will change. These are numbers, it changes. But please write number of startups functional in India. Number of startups functional in India. You should write like this. Number of startups functional in India greater than 1.4 lakhs. 1.4 lakhs. It's safe to write this. Why? Because we know 1.4 will become 1.5, it will become 1.6. Like let 1.4 greater than 1.4. Number of startups functional in India greater than 1.4 lakhs. Now guys, see the magic part. The government of India, now imagine this, the government of India is boasting everywhere that Indian startup system is better than European system or US system. Why? Because government of India is claiming everywhere, and which is a true claim. The number of startups in the Indian ecosystem, etc., is the 3rd highest in the world. We are the 3rd best country in the world in terms of startups. So government of India is boasting everywhere that our startup ecosystem is the best in the world. Only countries like USA, China, or Israel, these countries are almost parallel to India, but India is the 3rd best in the world. This year itself, India has become the 3rd best in the world. Because why? Because there is global slowdown, etc. So in West, there are some problems in India. Even if you open a tea business, you call it as a startup. This was the problem. So entire world started to laugh at India. They started to say, India, I want to see your definition of startup. Anybody selling tea, samosa, etc., you are saying it's a startup. What is your standard definition of startup? Government of India said, anybody doing business in India, they said, absolutely wrong. Then please don't compare your definition with our definition. And then don't come on global platforms and say that we have come to participate in the global startup meet because your definition is very weak. So what did India do? India said, chalo, let us make our definition standard. So how do you make your definition standard? You look at various currencies in the world and then you ask the question to other countries that what is the cutoff that you have decided for a startup? Because there are various cutoffs for MSMEs in India. You have seen that, micro, small and medium. So do we have some cutoffs for startups? So across the world, there is a cutoff. If you convert dollar, pound, yen, all these currencies, etc., if you take the average value of global currencies, convert it into rupee, that converted value of rupee becomes the cutoff. Example, we don't write, example. So if you look at the board, can you please tell me that what is the highest revenue collected by this company in any particular year? Highest revenue collected in any particular year, 1 year, 100 crore. 100 crore. Has it ever crossed 100 crore? No, it has not. So the standard definition across the world in their currency, and if you convert it into Indian currency, it becomes 100 crore. So the standard definition is that any company which was established, suppose in 2020, and wants to become startup here, then in between, it should have never happened that in any particular year, your revenue should be greater than 100 crore. This should not have happened. You can touch 100 crore revenue in a particular year, but you cannot cross it. India did not want to have this definition. India was having a very poor definition earlier. You know what was the value we were having earlier? 50 crores. Which means we kept a very low value. Anybody who is under 50, you say startup. But the global definition was 100. So in dollars, in pounds, different currencies. So what did India do? India said, let us take average of all the currencies of the world, convert it into rupee. Average. It came out to be around 99, 98 point something. So we adopted 100. So it's not a rule. It's because the world is following this, so we also started to follow this. There is nobody in the world who has said 100 crore will be the fixed startup across the world. No. We have followed this because all the other countries are doing it and we want to compare ourselves for global rankings, for some kind of association with others. So we have to do this. So what is the third condition? Let me explain it again. The third condition is, if a company wants to become a startup, the rule is, since the time you were born, this company was born, and between the time when the company wants to become a startup, these 2 years, here the company wants to become a startup, this is the year when the company was born. In between, it should never have happened that your revenue or turnover should have crossed 100 crore. Maximum you can reach 100, but you should not cross. Which means if this becomes 101, you are out. Immediately government of India will say, better now go and become MSME. You are out from here. Because you don't require extra help. You are big. Are you understanding this? So please write. The turnover, third condition, the turnover of the company should not cross 100 crore. Should not cross 100 crore in any particular year. In any particular year since its registration. Since its registration. Fine. Cool. Fourth condition. Fourth condition. Okay, I will repeat it at the end. Some connectivity issue happened, your friend is saying. I'll take somebody's notes and tell you the first point. Okay, what is the fourth condition? Fourth condition is, guys, come with it, let me complete the fourth, fifth and sixth condition. Then if you have any issues, I'll take it up. Fourth, fifth condition, sixth condition is very simple. Listen to it carefully. This is the example which I use everywhere. I'll use the same example with you guys because it will give you more clarity. So don't take me otherwise because I use this example just to make the things connected with real life. Alright, there is no other intention. Now, imagine this, that you have gone out on a coffee with somebody today. Right. So in that coffee date, you met that person for the first time, you are having coffee, and the other party who is there with you tells you that can we meet again tomorrow? You are not very sure. So the other party tells you that give me your phone number, we can plan tomorrow another coffee date at some other place. You are not very sure. So what do? You want to control the situation. You don't feel that the other person is bad. It's just that the other person is not studying economics and current affairs and you are not happy. You are saying that unless you study economics and current affairs, I will not talk because that's wastage of my time. So you are judging the other person and you don't want to give your phone number because the moment you give phone number, the other party will call you tomorrow and you will have to give a response. So what do? You tell the other party, you want to control the situation. What do? You create some opaqueness. You tell the other party, I will let you know. The other party tells you, are we meeting tomorrow for coffee? So what is your response? I will let you know. This is not an answer. Like, this is nothing. So the other party tells you, how will you let me know? So you give your phone number. So what do? From the other party, you ask the phone number. You don't give your phone number because if you give your phone number, they will call you. You take their phone number. Why? Because if you have the phone number, it is your wish whether you want to call or not. Who is noting all these things? Don't write all this. Right. This is how you control the situation, right? Don't ask me how do I know all these things. I read it in newspaper, like current affairs. So guys, where are you? Ministry of? Yesterday you made that. So be careful. Don't omit words in between. Your friend is very emotional. So yesterday I was teaching Ministry of which ministry? Let him speak. Ministry of Urban Affairs. He removed the word urban. It's okay. So take it in a very light manner. So guys, whenever you go out for coffee, make sure that you don't give your phone number. You ask the phone number of the other party and tell, I will let you know. Control the situation. I mean, next day what happens? Other person keeps on waiting. If you feel like going, just go. If you don't feel like going, don't go. No problem. Same thing government of India is doing here. See what government did. Government says, beta, you have fulfilled the first three conditions. You have never crossed the revenue of 100 crore. Great, I'm happy with you. It's a totally new company because you have not merged anything. You have not split anything. That's also a very good thing. Your age is less than 10 years. I'm very happy. But having said this, why should I help you? Because if I help you, I want that you should contribute in India's GDP significantly. There must be a very good contribution by your tea business in India's GDP. So he says, what is the meaning of significant contribution? Because government is saying, please contribute significantly in GDP. I want to say if you cannot. So he says, government, how will you judge me? DPIT, how will you judge if my business can contribute significantly in India's GDP? So DPIT says that my team will decide. Team will decide? Which formula? So government of India and DPIT says, there is no formula. We will decide based on the file of your company, whatever file you are submitting. Are you understanding what the government is now? Keeping the phone number and government is saying, I will call you, let you know. Well, he says, come on, I should know which formula you are using. Government says, we are not using any formula. We are analyzing the economy, the global condition, Indian condition, and then we are trying to see if your business is good enough. Value judgment. And when do you use value judgment? When you have to control the situation. Otherwise, you will use a formula. So what is the government doing? Government is saying, submit your file. I will decide. Fourth condition, don't write, I'll tell you. Fourth condition, government says, submit your file. My team will decide if your business can increase India's GDP significantly. That's the next condition. He says, suppose I fulfill it. Then DPIT says, fifth condition will be, I will decide if your business can increase India's employment significantly. He says, how much employment do I have to increase? DPIT says, we will decide. You just write in your file, how much employment can you create? He says, I can create 200 employment. DPIT says, I will decide if it is good enough or not. He says, can you give me a number? DPIT says, there is no number. Based on economic conditions, we decide. So two conditions done, value judgment. If you fulfill all the 5 conditions, then the last condition is the BrahMos missile. So this guy fulfilled all the conditions. So he fulfilled it. He said, GDP will increase, employment will increase. Immediately DPIT said, beta, there is one problem. The last condition is, you should definitely use technology at a significant level in your business. He says, wait, what is the meaning of significant technology in business? So DPIT says, we will decide. He says, this is tea business. Which technology do you want me to use? Do you want me to use satellites to deliver tea to some people? So DPIT says, that I don't know. But whatever is in your file, we will read and we will see. If you are using technology, then we will call you startup. If you are not using technology, out. Then you become MSME. So he says, which technology? So DPIT says, any technology which suits the business. He actually submitted the file, got rejected. Then he started to think which technology is the last condition. Because of last condition, Zomato, Swiggy, all these companies got rejected. Then he started to think which technology. Again, they went back to the government of India and said, government of India, we have found the technology. Government said, which technology? They said, mobile app for delivery of food, portal for delivery of food, and in difficult areas, drone delivery. Have you noticed that these big companies sometimes they will say we will deliver pizza through drone? Except why this creating such drama? Because sometimes they have to convince the government that we are using technology in our business. So for that last part, they created this mobile app, online delivery, etc. And when government said this technology is not good, they said government, then you name the technology, we'll use it. So then government said okay, this is good. And immediately government gave the tag of startups to them. Which means if the government wants to give you the tag of startup, they will. If they do not want to give you the tag of startup, no power on this planet can compel them to do that. Value judgment, decide. So how many conditions? 3. Fourth condition, decide. The company must have the potential. The company must have the potential to increase India's GDP significantly. Significantly. Next, please, right? The company should have the capacity. The company should have the capacity to increase employment significantly. Increase employment significantly. Last point. The company must use technology. The company must use technology in a significant manner. In a significant manner in its business. In its business. Right. Please write a question and remind me about this question when we meet next time. We will start with that question. Please write. Discuss the various types of support. Discuss the various types of support provided by government to the startups. To the startups. There is a small planner that you should follow. I mean, if you have a schedule, don't change it. But if you feel that you need a structure for your preparation, I have a suggestion for you. You please divide your day into 3 parts. This is the right time, because if you don't start doing this, what will happen is later on things will accumulate and create headache. Best time to start preparation in this style is now only. So what you need to do is divide your day into 3 parts. The first part is mains preparation. So for example, let's say you're spending almost like 2 hours every day or 3 hours in your optional. So in mains, basically, I'm trying to talk about your optional subjects. So you can devote some time currently for your optional subject. Next 3 months, you can do this. Optional. Current affairs, you should make it compulsory. Because current affairs does not mean economics. Current affairs means other areas of current affairs also, like society, IR, polity, law, etc. So the economics related current affairs, you leave up to me. So I will take care of your economics and I will take care of current affairs related to economics, whatever is relevant. This part you should not study at home. You completely leave this part to me and have full faith. I'm telling you this. And I promise you, if you have full faith and if you let me teach the way that I'm teaching, I promise you that you will be able to solve the questions in the exam in prelims and mains. That's a promise. But for that, I need just 1 or 2 support from you. Number 1, you please do not refer to any other material at home on this. Why? Because UPSC clearing is not about economics. If you study economics with me and then at home again you are cross-checking from 20 sources, studying 5 textbooks, then the time that you should have devoted on this part, your optional part and other current affairs and other subjects, that's gone. Please don't do that. Since you are already giving the best part of your day to me in the classroom itself, don't repeat it when you go back home. Don't repeat it from 20 textbooks. No textbook should be referred. So for this part, you please rely on what we are doing in the class. For the other part, which means optional, you should definitely do optional these days for next 2 hours. So like when you go from here, 2 hours, if possible 3, depends, 2 or 3, you must do optional. So that's your number 1. And number 2, you must do current affairs from either one magazine, or if you have joined any program anywhere, great. If not, select one magazine of your choice. I'm not saying which magazine is good or bad, because every current affairs magazine is roughly around same. The language is different. So why should we say this is good, that is bad? Almost everybody is doing a good work in terms of magazine. Just presentation is slightly different. So you select any monthly magazine and from that magazine, omit the economics all apart. That I'm telling you with full confidence. Because I'm doing that for you. So please don't do it. For next 4 months, relax. So remove the economics part and do the remaining part. This should be your daily routine. No compromise here, please. And then this part is almost fixed. So you will see that we are going to have, since classroom is available, so we are going to have these 4 classes a week. So that we will have, and sometimes I will conduct the test within the class itself when the topic is easy. But if the topic is vast and mains oriented, and I know that question will come from there, then I will call you on a separate day for test. And if I feel topic is so easy, we can do it in the class itself, then we'll do it in the class itself. So this part you leave up to me. This is also compulsory. You are doing parallelly this. What is this part? For this, I strongly suggest that you follow this system. First, you complete your GS paper 4, then you complete your GS paper 2. Which areas of GS paper 2 should you do after 4? So in terms of this, first you should do your polity, governance. These 2 parts you must do. And I can suggest you one book. See, I have not suggested any name of reference material, etc. For one thing, I will definitely suggest you one name. For this governance part, no, Vajiram's yellow book is considered to be one of the best. Remaining, whatever material you are studying, I don't have a problem. Read anything that you feel like, whatever suits you, all the materials are good. But if I'm specifically telling you one name, that Vajiram's yellow book for governance part is very good, trust me, it is very good. So you please refer to that when you do governance. Whatever you are doing, do it. But also do the Vajiram governance part, the yellow book, that is considered to be one of the best. I have also read it, it's very good. So polity you should do, then governance, and then you should do social issues. And then you should leave your IR part for now. For now, just leave it for now. So do these 3 things, then directly you jump to GS paper 1. GS paper 3, I'm taking care of economics, and from social issues, I'm going to do quite a lot of things in the class. आप देखोगे, we'll do over a period of time a lot of social issues. So those things which are mentioned hardcore in social issues also we are going to tackle in the class around about something. So in GS paper 3, after 1 you can enter GS paper 3. In paper 3 you can do your security part, environment part, disaster management part, and then you do your, because doing IR in a very fragmented manner is not a good idea. IR should always be done holistically. So if I have to study IR, I will never read a particular news, one paragraph, and I'll say, done. For example, I'll pick Central Asia and complete the entire Central Asia of last 6 months. What has happened in last 6 months of money? This is the best way to study foreign policy and international relations. So take off some time, collect the material, and let's say after a month, when you are done with all these things, then you study IR. It will give you a great picture. And by that time, I would have also contributed a few things in your IR in the classroom. So that will actually help you. So you do it towards the end. So see, this is your sequence: 4, 2, and then you have to do 1, and towards the end 3. Why? Because 3 is very dynamic in nature. If you do it little late, no, memorization becomes easy. And through this classroom program that we are having, you'll feel empowered, so it will become easy for you. So parallelly, you have to divide your system like this. And how do you handle the note making part of economics that we are doing in the class? Please do not make any notes at home. If you are in the habit of writing data book, etc., great. But why will you convert these notes into some other notes? Because you don't have time. That time you can save and do other things. The note making that we are doing in the class, imagine if you go back home and start to do highlighting of those parts, it becomes so easy. It saves your time. That time you can spend in other areas. Don't you think your attempts will come down? You should reduce your attempts. And how to reduce the attempt? Just mark yellow, use some sticky notes in your economics notes which I am giving you. And what is the best thing this year with your economics notes? The best thing that will happen to you is you will just have one set of notes in your hand, which will be the written notes in the class, along with test, question, answer, everything. And the handouts that I will provide you will be used for revision purposes, very thin handouts. So notes ready-made with handouts for memorization and a data book. Why 4th notes? You don't need a 4th note. Don't make notes out of note. Use that time to study these things. That's my strong suggestion to you. If you follow this system, you'll do well. Yellow books are not available to buy through Amazon and Flipkart. I'll check. I will check. But I told you that one of the good sources is the Vajiram Yellow Book. I think it is available. I don't know. I haven't checked it, but I will check today. If not available, I'll ask Vajiram to put it somewhere like on the portal website. I'll see. On Vajiram's website, it is available. You please check Vajiram's website. Your friend is saying it is available. I haven't checked that, but you see it. What is the answer of definition of the answer of the definition of the startup is that a startup is defined using those 6 conditions. Anybody who fulfills is called a startup. That's the definition. There is no other definition of startup. So that is how it is. Now you tell me where you got stuck.
Suppose the father is a rich businessman and still, like for example, another business is there, like, and a child wants to start something new, then also it will be considered as fifth level.
Absolutely.
Like, for example,
The idea has to be your idea. No exceptions.
like father is suppose in manufacturing and a child.
Can I save your time? Can I save your time for UPSC? No exceptions allowed. Unless you start something without taking help of anybody, it will not be considered to be a startup.
Okay, like father money is also.
Nothing. It has to be yours.
And sir, if someone you have mentioned that the MSME is 25%, then in this 80% others.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between 80% others and 75% procurement and food?
That others is MSME. 18% is that MSME category. Look at the picture. 25 comes from MSME. So in that 25, 4 plus 3, 4 MSME, 3 MSME, and that 18 is also MSME. Can be anybody. Anybody means Tatas also. It can be MSME also. Your wish. Right? How was your exam? You're paying some exam, no? Achha, college. Okay, let me take one question online, then one offline, one online, one offline. And if you want to leave, if you have a class or something, good day. So let me take one question from there. Can we scroll back? Because I've been holding you for very long about the doubt, so let me clear it. And we'll do it like this only. If a startup, guys, listen to your question, to your friend's question. If you have some time, you can also listen to the question. If turnover of a startup is more than 100 crore after registering as a startup and it's only 4 years since registration, still revoked. That part we'll do in the next lecture. Because in the next lecture, I've given you a question. Discuss the support given by Government of India to startup. In that part, I will tell you what is the significance of that 10-year formula. So there we will draw this picture again and we will restart. Because that part will take time. So next lecture. If one purchases more than 25%, say 50% from MSME, then also minimum 4% and 3%. Absolutely correct. Absolutely, because you have to maintain that part. In some month, that's why percentage is mentioned, not absolute amount. So in some month, can the government buy 100% from or from MSME? No, you have to maintain that percentage. SM. What is the incentivizing buyers to follow some month process of procurement? Some month process. Buyers means government. So actually, Government of India wants to promote MSMEs. So all the buyers on some month is the government agencies only. And why is the government following some month? Because they want to promote MSMEs. So the buyers are not different agencies. On GEM, the buyers are only the government. We didn't write about the credit guarantee scheme. We missed the credit guarantee. Achha, एक line लिख लो, credit guarantee. Thank you for reminding. It's just one line only. Please write. Under credit guarantee scheme, I think your friend reminded me that we missed one line on credit guarantee. So under credit guarantee, thank you. Under credit guarantee scheme, the government provides under credit guarantee scheme 2024. Extra note somewhere, budget 2024. It's a budget part. Budget 2024. Budget 2024. You should write like this. Budget 2024 and then write under credit guarantee scheme, the government provides up to rupees 100 crore credit. Up to rupees 100 crore credit means loan to the MSMEs. To the MSMEs. Credit to the MSMEs without asking for collateral. Without asking for collateral. Without asking for collateral. Please put a full stop, guys. Change the paragraph. This part is not given in the budget. Please write. The MSMEs having ZED certificate. The MSMEs having ZED certificate get priority. Get priority. Get priority. Because they are having quality products. Okay, done. Thank you so much. See, everybody benefited because of you. Now please tell me. I took 5 questions from online, now a few questions from offline if you have any issue. Yes. In any particular year. As I told you, that the government of India is also maintaining some international standards. So what happens is, if you follow a certain definition, then what will happen is, when you come to comparison, because constantly we take money from World Bank and AIIB to create infrastructure for startups. So if our definition is different, then AIIB will ask us that, India, why should we help you? Because you are saying that you are promoting startups compared to others. But since the definition is different, how will we compare you? So we don't know how to compare you. So whether you are good or bad doesn't matter. What matters is we can't compare you. So that is the reason that they say that to maintain that harmony, you have to do it. Same principle is used in the measurement of poverty. So for example, in India, if you earn, let's say, $1, the government of India will say you are not poor. But the entire world is following a different system, $4, $3, $6. So World Bank said $2.5. So when World Bank gives support to India, World Bank does not look at Indian poverty. World Bank looks at its own definition of poverty and then compares us with the rest of the world. So similarly, India said, remove this problem, let's have a common system. Okay, lean technology means ZED effect. No, lean technology means remove unnecessary things, and ZED means improve the quality. About unicorn, we'll do next time. Sujita, I have a table that I will give you for unicorn, decacorn, etc. Big companies are called unicorn. So the governance book is there on Vajiram portal. So that's the book I'm talking about. Yes, you can definitely follow it. Yes, if you have it, you can follow it. Bataiye. If MSME champion is not fully subsidized, how it differs from CLSS, Rajan? You have asked, no. How it differs from CLSS, because there is also, it is pick up to 15 lakhs and rest as loan. Oh, simple. See, in MSME champions, what has happened is, you have to follow all the 3 systems. So for example, if you want to get advantage of the government of India's scheme called as credit guarantee scheme, then you need to follow that system of MSME champions where lean things have to be removed, because otherwise why will government of India give you 5 crore? Because you are going to use the money for packaging unnecessarily. So government of India says all the schemes that I am giving you currently, like credit guarantee scheme or enhanced limit of Mudra Yojana, the government of India says I want to see whether you are in the champions list or not. If you are in the champions list, your limit of credit will increase, you will get faster money, the audit time will come down, government will not check you a lot. Why? Because they are already checking you under ZED, and plus when you export your products, the export time also comes down, because Europe will ask for one thing, do you have ZED? Because Europe also follows the ZED system. So Europe says, oh, you are Indian, you are having ZED. We will check your quality only once at the seaport. That's it. If you don't have ZED, they'll keep on checking the quality for 2 months just to see if there is anything wrong in your product. So these are the benefits that you get. It's not just credit, but along with credit, you get other facilities as well. All right. So will you revise at home? First lecture, what do you say? First lecture video. First lecture is not available. That is the system they are following in optional. They are following in module. GS also same system. So I think how many watches you can do? How many times you can watch? 3 times. I think 3 or 2. 2 times you can watch. No. Oh, see, your friend has a jugaad. Cybersecurity. So guys, that system is followed for all the courses. So special video access also, if you are absent. So guys, as your friend is saying, there is one more system that if you have missed out the lecture for some reason, you couldn't attend the lecture either online or offline. So I think some liberty is given in some of the lectures. You can request for the access within a month. So suppose today I am conducting a lecture, it's the first date of the month. Then within 30 days, till 30th of the month, you can request that I have missed the lecture either online or offline. So can I watch it? So I think they'll provide you some bit of the lecture for that. But these are the rules which even I am not fully aware, because these rules are standardized, created for all the courses. So there is no difference in that. And even if I try my best to increase, it won't be possible because all other courses are following the same system. So that is why bound because of this system. Maybe to stop piracy, obviously. Right. So, okay, what is the question they have mentioned? It means that in a country, industry should be developed first. It should start from startup, then it should become MSME, and then it should become large industries, which will be independent. Sahi keh rahe ho, that moment this chapter will be complete, your whole idea of industries will change, and you will understand. Oh, this is the system of growth of industries in India. Wonderful. So I couldn't find the governance book any link. Okay, I'll see. It's not there. Okay, I'll ask Wajiram if it is available or not, or it is only meant for internal circulation. I don't know. I'll check. But when I read the book, I realized one of the best. Just can you please go it back? So one of our friends has mentioned all the MSMEs in northeast and hilly areas, even other than this, will given correct. So if you belong to northeast and hilly areas, then gender does not matter. Then nothing matters. If you are in the northeast or hilly areas, government says you are special. I'll give you the benefits because you are not having the advantage of connection with mainland. So yes, irrespective of gender, you will get the benefits. SI, what are you asking? I have a small request. No problem. Is it possible to conduct test so that we can get extra time to revise? Oh. Achha, ek kaam karte. Let's do one thing. Since so what has happened is I have already got a class on Saturday and Sunday with GS batches. So this time let the test be on Friday. But from next time, whenever I plan for a test, I'll ask from you if you are comfortable in a 1 day gap or 2 days gap. But this topic I was assuming since it's very easy, it's not monetary policy or action, and I somehow made an assessment by looking at you guys, and I still maintain that I feel it is doable for you this time. Because the response that I got from online and offline and the body language that I saw, I'm fully confident that you can handle it. This time at least you can handle it. If it's taxation, obviously you are right, I'll give you 2 days extra to revise. Okay? This is the system we'll follow, but I will ask you next time. And the test syllabus will be whatever I taught till today. Bank rate will be charged on principal only. Bank rate is always charged only on principal. Bank rates are not charged on GST. For ethics also. Okay, next time for ethics I'll tell you something. Kindly repeat the last point of the startup. The last point of the startup is, if you want to be called as a startup, you have to prove to the government that you are using some latest technology which must be used in that business. So, for example, if I'm selling tea, coffee, etc., it must be made available through a mobile app, and the quality check of the tea and coffee must be done through some latest gadgets, so that the quality should be good, etc. So, technology has to be used for delivery. Technology has to be used for quality control as well, and your carbon footprint should also be minimum. Don't burn a lot of carbon. Tomorrow, test timing 7:30 a.m. in the morning itself. Both prelims and mains. Yeah. If you want to leave, no problem. Thank you so much. But you understood the topic? Cool. No problem. You please attend your lecture. And from next time, guys, if you want to bring some cookies or water in the class, please do. Because this announcement I wanted to make, I won't mind it at all, because I don't want you guys to suffer. So if you want to munch something in between, I won't mind. Just don't disturb anybody. You keep on having your chocolates and cookies and water, no problem. If you want to bring these kind of things, I'm totally fine with it. All right. Thank you so much.